Alright, hello. Who's ready for part 2 of Cradle Parade? Gotta finish it up here for today. So, last we left off was node 15 of Cradle Parade. Alright, here we are. Okay. And after we finish up Cradle Parade, tomorrow is going to be Aeon Reforged, my first time reading through it. So I'm going to be excited for it. It looks to be just as lengthy as Cradle Parade, so that's most likely going to be in 2 parts as well. And then Polaris Bond will be next week, just after Boxing Day, like on the 27th. The thing too is, Polaris Bond, I heard it's really, really, really long. It's a really long chapter, and I was scrolling through Reddit and all that shit, and I saw a post in the PGR subreddit of Polaris Bond having 8 nodes of pure dialogue, like in a row. So I'm sitting here like, oh boy, Polaris Bond might not be even a 2-part stream, but maybe 3 parts. That's how long it is. And I thought Cinder Burns was gonna be long. But story's really good. I enjoy the story, so I don't mind having to read that much. But I will say though, if I end up like slurring my words a bit, or forgetting some stuff that I just read, that's a sign that I am starting to doze off. Because I don't mind having to do long reads if the stuff that I'm reading is super interesting, right? But if it's stuff that isn't really hitting me in the interest, then I'm like, I start dozing off. It's pretty much how it is with like HSR. Like so much shit in HSR story is so uninteresting, I'm like slowly falling asleep. Anyway, time to finish up Cradle Parade. Alright. Wandering Grass. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, right, yeah, the last node we were in the Commandant POV. Before facing this Noah, you've asked the other Noah a question. Would I have left Lithos had I never been stopped? Well, quite likely, because he'd always try to stop me from recalling all the good memories. People have no choice but to choose a different path if they can't remember all the good things that happened, and are made to believe that nothing they do ever matters. And that's how they become Ascendants. But there's no way Lithos would have let me become one if I had believed that becoming an Ascendant was my only choice. He can't stand not being in control of things, so he probably would have turned me into a Transcendent at most. Nolan! The familiar figure turns around to face this way in the narrow tunnel. This voice. Your eyes. You can't see me? You remember the name Nolan, but not this incident. What do you mean? Bearing a shocking resemblance to Nolan, this young man tilts his head in confusion. Wait, Nolan, just hear me out. I know you might not remember me, but... No, my memories are quite complex now. And I understand what's bothering you. There's another real me in Babylonia, right? Grey Raven Commandant? You remember all that? Then why are you still helping Lithos? I only started remembering all these after becoming a Transcendent, after that incident. And that's also when I remember you, Watanabe, Lee, Commandant Simon, Captain Palma, and Lillian. I remembered the right path I chose for myself. Let's talk about you instead. How do you still remember the name Noah? Lithos took me here. And wait, that's a weird question. What's wrong with that? Am I not supposed to remember it? You've been in a state of memory loss. Or rather, there are a bunch of your clones here with no memories. So, you're the real deal? Of course I am the real deal. You remember everything. But you don't remember having met me. It's possible that your memories have been tampered with, which is something Lithos does a lot. It's either that or my personal belongings can prove my identity too. There's no need to prove anything to me. And that's only an issue once you're out of here. Those clones don't have this jacket and what's inside it, do they? I couldn't see the other yous clearly. I've touched one of them once and your clones are all in lab outfits. Why are there clones of me here? I don't know. There are things Lithos would never tell me. He left me out of Project Catilla after I lost this eye. Lithos can be gullible at times. It's going to take a whole lot of convincing to make him trust me on every single thing. I don't have any useful information with me. All I know is that he wants you to stay here and join Catilla's big family, so you'll eventually become one of her eggs. That's what he said to me too. Eggs. Have you seen my clones anywhere else? No, but I've heard these clones were transported from a secret lab near Fort Winter. Are you the very commandant that Grey Raven is leaving no stone unturned trying to find? Or are you one of the 5 they don't care about at all? Or maybe you are the true one, but Grey Raven has located one of the 5 and halted their pursuit of you. They fought one of my clones with me. Fort Winter. There's no point in thinking about any of that. They need to get out of here first. What's wrong with your eyes? What exactly were those heteroid creatures you just defeated? What's wrong with your eyes? Why bother asking when you don't even remember me? And the person you remember isn't even me anyway. Try me again with a different question. What exactly were those heteroid creatures you defeated? It was an autonomous community of interest of humanoids. Huh? What did you just say? Red Tide holds the information of the deceased. Yeah, that much I know. Catilla has gathered compatible large shards from the information and infused them into humanoid heteroid creatures using their tree of life. She then assigns a role to each of these shards to maintain complementarity and coordinated unity, like a community of interest comprising humanoids, or a harmonious community, if you will. Lithos said he had obtained the technology of fusing the consciousnesses from mankind. So these consciousnesses came from those who fled here. That's suicidal. There's no way people can live here. They shouldn't give up hope for all these lies. Do you think they can survive the world out there? The comfort of Mother and the rumors of rebirth hold an irresistible charm for those who are desperate. Moreover, it's no mere fairy tale. All you need to do is stay in this paradise for a few days and get a few injections. And when you wake up, you'll have bidden farewell to your constantly deteriorating body and been reborn as an immortal magical sea girl in Catilla's womb. Your body won't be yours alone, but your consciousness will transcend humanity and understand everything, and you'll be able to get rid of anyone who rubs you the wrong way. What's so bad about that? All this is to say you don't need to show them pity, nor should you try to make peace with them, even if they were driven to suicide out of desperation. The young man calmly states the necessity of killing. Is there no way out of this? There's supposed to be still some humanity left in them. That's exactly why I'm asking you to be careful. Back in the Golden Age, there was a notebook that people believed you died if you had your name written in it. And there were a bunch of people who wrote the names of game producers in there. We're living through a time where all our conflicts and differences are more intensified than ever, not to mention that they have been driven to desperation. People who have never experienced the terror of power but find themselves going from powerless to having everything overnight are sure to become demon lords feared the world over. You've known all along, haven't you, that there's no negotiating with that kind of creature. But you had your hopes up anyway, seeing as they are able to communicate with them in language. Nod. Yes. Have you taken the last injection? I can't see you clearly, but I can smell the blood on you. Yes. Do you want to stay here and be reborn as a magical sea girl? Like hell I do. Do you know how to get out of here? It's tricky. You can head to the control room to call for help, but that's because that's the only place with signals. I can point you in the general direction. That doesn't mean you'll have the clearance to establish a connection, and even if you do, you might end up with an ascendant on the other side of the line. Lamia has the ability to disguise herself as others, but she might not cooperate. And it's highly likely Lithos is going to find out about this. So we'll have to kill him to start with. Correct. What if we just can't get a hold of anyone? The young man falls silent upon hearing this question. Is there nothing else we can do? Actually, you can just go back to Catilla. Did you just say what I think you just said? This is too much. We are right inside Catilla's womb. He points around with no emotion on his face. This space itself is a huge hetero creature. It's closely connected to Catilla like the heterosapiens in Puglia Forest Park, and it interferes with Catilla. People who die here will become part of the floor and get absorbed by Catilla's womb. She will then give birth to them again. Are you saying this is Catilla's cradle? Lithos likes to refer to it as that. They've come up with names like Giant Whale and Deep Star, but what it is no matter what they call it. This giant womb is fixed at the bottom of the deep sea while carrying us, and I've been waiting for a chance to unlock it so it can float to the surface. That's the only way for people to discover and eliminate it before it turns into a disaster. How do we make that happen? Do you know how to do that? We might stand a chance if the storage room holding all the copies of mine is still there, except we'll have to deal with Lithos then. We have to find the joystick that controls the womb, and then we'll have to find someone who can withstand the water pressure to dive into the deep sea to unlock the womb. What is this deep joystick that you're talking about? That's another consciousness that controls Catilla. Do you know Voodoo and Loki? Catilla is like a mad woman, which is why we need another consciousness to keep her sanity in check. I've read about them. I've met some who have had their consciousnesses integrated. There is a total of 3 consciousnesses keeping Catilla and her womb under control. Catilla herself and 2 other stable minds. Take one of them out of the equation, and you end up with a continuous collapse like the one that's happening now, and we all die in the deep sea. Is it possible for the cradle to die? Maybe. But as long as Catilla is alive, they can rebuild the cradle. What does one need to do to become Catilla's second consciousness? You need to meet 2 conditions. Your own mind has to be stable, and you have to be accepted by Catilla herself. You'll get expelled prematurely and become one of her children if she doesn't like you and rejects you. All you need to do is die in her womb if you meet these conditions. The roots of the tree of life are buried everywhere here, ready to accept consciousnesses with the red tide. And I'd coexist with her if she doesn't dislike me. No one can coexist with her for an extended period of time. She will shape a consciousness into one of her children before it's crushed. You might become one of those anemones that crawl all over the place, or a magical sea girl, or merge into an egg. Hey Tinkan, good day to you too. Which means another way to do it is to sacrifice someone with a stable enough consciousness to turn that person into Catilla's second consciousness. In this case, there is no avoiding the sacrifice. Only 3 people meet this condition: Noan, Lamia, and yourself. So, in case communication fails and you're forced to use this method, who's most likely to be sacrificed? No one. Running into him here feels like a bad joke. You don't even know how he went blind and which part of his memory is missing. You don't know if you can justify sacrificing him a second time under these circumstances. I failed to save Shorthold. I'm sure I'm going to hate myself down the road for sacrificing him to have my own life spared. Why can't it be me? No, that's exactly why we have to avoid this. What's that? Nothing. Let me think. He's right. Your best bet would be to head down to the control room to call for help. And if that fails, then the two of you are as good as dead. You're pressed for time, and the scale of destruction that this space carrying countless hetero creatures is going to wreak on Earth is beyond anyone's imagination. Catilla and this space are the breeding grounds for demon lords. You have to be nipped in the bud. Seeing as how Task Force cannot operate in the deep sea, you figure that you have to take Catilla and break free from the seabed. Task Force can only eliminate both Catilla and this space when they're both out on the surface of the sea. A sacrifice is in order, however, in order for that to happen. We should try to focus on establishing communication first before exploring other options. Right, there's still hope. You can get Nohan to join you to look for ways to establish communication and see if there is a way to work around the situation. Nohan. He tilts his head this way. Tell him about Lamia. Going to head to the control room first. Getting out of here is our best bet. I'm going to get help from the task force, and I'll figure out a way to bring Catilla to the sea surface. What are you going to do if you don't get hold of anyone in the control room? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll drag Lithos and Lamia here to help if need be. The young man shows a faint smile at your overly idealistic plan. Let's give your plan a shot. It's better than doing nothing. With it, he points in a general direction and turns to leave. Wait, where are you going? I've got a few things to deal with. It hits you just now that you were probably being a little too optimistic, thinking he'd lend you a hand. This person is no longer Nohan, so it only makes sense for him to refuse to help. Nohan, what do you want to do now? Can you tell me what your plan is? To throw a wrench in Lithos' grand plans. Seems like we're up to the same thing then. You can still do that by giving me a hand here. How about we join forces? Standing in place with his hand clutched to the only weapon he has left, the young man weighs his options. Fine, let's do this. This place is about to collapse. I was going to take one last look at Catilla, but I guess there's no time for that. Nohan closes his eyes as he explains half the reason for this hesitation. One last look at Catilla. Like you said, Catilla has to go, and I've been hearing her cry. She never wanted to give birth to all these dead people. This is what happens when people's wishes go awry. He lets out a soft sigh. Everyone longs to be saved by a mother. Who's there to save the mother herself? Come with me. I'm sure we can work this out. There are some things that just can't be solved the further down the road you go. Says someone who's covered in wounds from head to toe. Fine. I can still take on 10 more of them. But given how far we've come, we've got no choice but to have her rest in peace, right? The world is as good as dead if we let her go. But Catilla cannot choose her own death. A hetero creature's body can heal as many times as it needs to in the punishing. We've got to count on organizations like Babylonia if we want a solution. Well, let's go. No one makes a pleased gesture, but shows no intention of coming closer. I'm a transcendent now. Got it. Downstream. The two of you navigate through countless collapsed passages toward the control room. All along the way, hetero creatures come pouring out of the collapsed walls, like animals trying to flee a forest fire, every last one highly aggressive. To them, one of you is a traitor who deserves nothing but death, while the other a sacrifice to be captured. One single mishap is all it takes for the two of you to become their prey. And it doesn't help that you're severely wounded and slowing down the two of you. T-minus 39.5 hours. After an 8-hour trek, you and no one finally find the entrance to the control room, a door floating in midair. Around the door lurks a bunch of hetero creatures, to no one's surprise. Think you can get rid of them on your own? There's someone else in the distance. Who else? I thought you couldn't see things clearly. I can hear Catilla crying. Someone is holding her egg down that way. It could be Lamia. Let's take a detour to catch them. Avoiding the crowd of monsters by the door, you head down the way no one has pointed out for you and, sure enough, see Lamia. She's holding an egg in one hand and wields a weapon in the other, cutting down the hetero creatures like wheat. But every time she swings her weapon, she pauses or goes mad for a moment, acting as though she is possessed or having her consciousness devoured. Report what you've seen to no one and seek further information. What exactly is that egg? It's Cinderelic. Wait, Cinderelic? The one-winged transcendent that falls around Vonnegut? Yes, her mind isn't stable enough for her to become a complete egg. She only managed to become something that seems like one because Catilla is her mother. Is she dead? Can't tell for sure. She'd probably end up becoming an even more powerful magical girl if she managed to hatch from the egg. Come on, stop with the magical girl joke already. Are you trying to crack manga jokes just because you're feeling intimidated by all this? Oh, yeah. I'm off to the manga world tonight. Wait, I remember you saying Lithos wanted me to become one of Catilla's eggs. But Cinderelic is already inside the egg. Does Catilla want to make another egg? That's a cakewalk for Catilla, and no one said the egg was only big enough to hold one single consciousness. So we better get out of here as soon as we can if we don't want to become one with her. Why did she go to the lengths of becoming a hetero creature, though? Because she heard about Kugawa Kurono's death one afternoon, and she crossed off Visit Kugawa Kurono from her wish list in tears. What, Madoka Magica? He failed again, mister. He isn't coming back to see Mother again, even at the cost of picking the wrong path. Let me be reborn by Mother, she pleaded to the agent. I want to know if Mother remembers me. And I can become your key if it works. This is my final wish. How do you even know about this? They let their guard down around me sometimes. What do you know about Kugawa Kurono? It's a long story. The young man waves his hand, dismissing further questions. Anyhow, both Lithos and his agents see the egg as important. They think it's an amplifier of some sort, and you've seen its effects already. When an unstable mind becomes an egg, it amplifies its power and transfers the amplified power to its user, which messes up the user's mind. In other words, it's difficult for her to use the egg by herself. And her standing there not doing anything is a symptom of her mind being messed up. Establishing a mind connection with an ascendant is a serious burden, and there's no guarantee one can cut it off unilaterally. This is a bargaining chip. Keeping this in mind, you shout out Lamia's name, which stops her hand in midair along with her weapon. Your mind is already a mess. Stop using that egg anymore, Lamia. Hearing this, the mermaid clutches the egg in her arms even more tightly, fearing it might be snatched away the next second. But even in those moments of her hesitation, the hetero creatures still keep their distance from her, fearing the egg she's holding. You too. Tell her how you ran into Nolan and what you plan to do in the control room. I know there's a control room here. We should work together for now, Lamia. What you're trying to do is exactly what we're trying to do too. Are you sure you want to work with an Ascendant? No, not with an Ascendant, but with you, Lamia. But I am an Ascendant. It depends on the person. I wouldn't work for Gabriel, for example. We all need to get out of this place, and you need a mind connection too. So let's join forces, I say. The mermaid stands in hesitation, the hetero creatures around her eyeing the egg in her hands, still too afraid to take their chances. Before Lamia met these two again, she thought about how to break the ice. She thought about how best to explain herself so they'd understand that she'd never intended to work with Lithos, nor did she wish to fight them. But she was sure that nothing she had to say would lessen one bit of their hostility toward Ascendants. And while she did think about putting on the disguise of an innocent bystander construct, doing so would mean that she wouldn't be able to conceal the crimson giant egg she held. Never did it hit her, though, that they would ask her to join forces without first asking her to justify herself. The legendary Grey Raven Commandant has no choice but to ask for help, huh? She nods, albeit in doubt. Great. Now, pass me that egg before it messes up your mind even further. Lamia takes another step back, clutching the egg tightly. I can't give you this. Lamia doesn't dislike this particular human with whom she's been working with this whole time. And she's happy to keep their relationship the way it is. And she'd even be glad to stay in touch with the human, the same way Lillian and they do with them, as long as they're willing to stop being the hero they are for just a few moments. This is mine. I'm not giving it to anyone. She knows very well how important the egg is. Yeah, mine stands for something. I don't remember what it is, though. But yes, it does stand for something. M-I-N-D. Her frame won't hold for much longer if she doesn't bring the egg back to Luna, and she might even lose her status as an Ascendant, which would turn her into a mere corrupted. Moreover, the egg is all she has to make all her wishes come true. I can work with you, but I'm not giving you this. Okay. Seeing you trying to make peace as you take a few steps back, Lamia loosens up a little among the hetero creatures. So, let's start by establishing a mind connection, Lamia. But it's going to corrupt your mind beacon. That much I'm aware of. Her silence voices her doubts. Lithos is still alive. We need to get ourselves sufficiently ready before heading into this territory that he holds dear. We need to figure out a way to call for help in the control room. This is our only chance to get out of this place safely. This is our only chance. We have to defeat Lithos. That's the least we can do. Lamia gazes at the human before her, whose decaying appearance reminds her of an overripe apple. Would a person fall like an apple if they have their plate too full? Well, sure. Step by step, she approaches the human with the egg, weapon, and a swarm of hetero creatures. Water everywhere. Is this also one of Lithos' defense measures? It seems that he has regained control over this place. See a little sea angel, sea fairy. Okay. Beepity boppity boop. Only I can get through. Keep moving onward. Activate the forced drainage system. start training. Alright, you can come over now. That was it. That was it. His cat. Anyway, I should see if there's anything useful. Access control should be back to normal now, right? What a hassle. Catilla's children are here as well? Oh, it's just some test subjects. She does have legs, yep. Only when she's walking on land. Should be able to find some information there. Well, let's head over there. Document 1. Professor Kilgore Trout makes public confession in his autobiography. New autobiography. Found a news article. Check later. Number 7411. People initiated joint petition for march in support of Professor Kilgore Trout. Number. Hashtag. Professor Kilgore Trout seen among the marchers. Much of the writing is blurred. Check it later. Document 3. Death row inmate body experiment. Contract to be scrapped. Old news. Many know about this. Incident report. Many of the writing is blurred. Check it later. Project Catilla achieved preliminary success. Old news. Many know. Document 2. Determination of sentence for Professor Kilgore Trout may prove difficult. Much of the writing is blurred. Professor Kilgore Trout signed death row inmate body experiment agreement. Much of it is blurred. Nothing meaningful. Significant progress made in an experiment for uploading mind data. Much blurred. Nothing meaningful. Professor Kilgore Trout confirmed dead. That's all. All that's left of this news file is the title. The file can't be opened. Floating egg. Yep. Some archived news reports. I'll gather them all for now. I should leave this way I came. Excuse me. Yawns are coming in again. Having eliminated the hetero creatures that had been tailing you, you perk up and turn your attention back to the old news you just found. Did Lithos put all of these together? Kilgore Trout makes public confession in his new autobiography. A reporter from a news agency received the latest novel by Professor Kilgore Trout. Except for early life anecdotes, the book details how the protagonist, a psychiatrist of 15 years, manipulated and drove 13 individuals to suicide. All were patients he had treated for mental illnesses, with the latter half of the book including the actual case files of the 13 patients. After repeated verification of the book's authenticity, the reporter decided to report to the police. 7,411 people initiated a joint petition for March in support of Kilgore Trout. As a renowned psychiatrist and psychologist, Professor Kilgore Trout has helped countless patients and assisted the police in solving numerous cold cases. The 13 people he incited to commit suicide all had criminal records, but were largely exempt from punishment due to their mental illnesses. According to the reporter's detailed investigation, during the 15 years Professor Trout worked as a psychiatrist, he assisted the police in identifying over 100 criminal cases involving mentally ill individuals, with 13 believed to have been driven to suicide. In an interview, he disclosed his motive: to test if those who justify murder with mental illness would themselves resort to the same reasoning for suicide. And yet, it still hasn't stopped people from speaking out for him. So far, 7,411 people have initiated a joint petition online and organized an offline march. Professor Kilgore Trout seen among the marchers. It was only after the march in support of Kilgore Trout had come to an end that people discovered a man resembling him in photos from the event. Police refused to disclose any further information. However, according to a source, Professor Kilgore Trout indeed managed to escape from prison during that time. And this is how it all went down. Determination of sentence for Professor Kilgore Trout may prove difficult. The police have yet to discover further evidence linking Professor Kilgore Trout to the 13th suicides after his last autobiography was sent out. Supporters have raised doubts about whether the autobiography was actually written by Professor Kilgore Trout himself. Was it by a journalist who has been bribed to send the professor's reputation down the drain? Was the professor forced to write the autobiography? Professor Kilgore Trout signed death row inmate body experiment agreement. 100%. I totally understood that. I can read square. Significant progress made in experiment for uploading mind data. It wasn't until now that we're finally keeping confined. Related personnel refused to reveal further information. Professor Kilgore Trout confirmed dead. This particular piece only comes with the title. Death row inmate body experiment contract to be scrapped. On July 13th, the death row inmate body experiment contract plan will be officially terminated. Approved by the world government, this 3-year plan began as a voluntary public welfare contract signed by death row inmates and their families. Upon receiving compensation, inmates agreed to participate in related medical experiments. Animal Crossing language acquired. I've never played Animal Crossing. My cousin has like a Nintendo Switch, and there have been a few times where she would told me like she would play Animal Crossing and stuff on it. She showed me her island and everything. It made me want to play it too. Just like a nice cozy little chill game to play. Over the past year, however, multiple instances of backdoor dealings among the institutions involved have been exposed. In the name of the world government, these institutions enlist inmates without consent for inhumane, torturous experiments. After the scandal broke, massive protests ensued, halting the plan within 3 days and leading to the explicit legal prohibition of human experimentation. Incident report. The mind data of has been lost. Someone must be helping him. He escaped. Project Catella achieved preliminary success. Through cloning and mind backup, the deceased can be reborn in the womb of a mother. Even after conversion to mind data, individuals retain the ability to revert to a human form, granting immunity to fatal injuries and incurable diseases. Humanity will achieve true immortality the day Project Catella is successfully developed. Apart from the incident report, most of these documents are just like clippings. They're nothing but bits and pieces of old news. Someone was after this certain Professor Kilgore Trout, and these seem like what came out of his pursuit. Why were they after him, though? You go on looking for clues with this question sitting in the back of your mind, and it isn't long before you find an old novel under the shelf beside the desk. A printed photograph that vaguely captures the figure of a young man falls out of the novel when you open it. I'll take a closer look later. You put the photo aside and carry out looking for further information in the book. There is nothing, however, save for bloodstains, until you reach the very last page. That mister came here again today, and he chose me. Father said I have to make him happy because he's a very prestigious man. But he didn't do anything. We talked about me and my life here and about the other fathers and Rose. He asked me a lot of questions about what I learned too. I worked up the courage to ask his name, but he just pointed to the book by my bed and asked what I thought about it. I told him I just liked the title of the book. When I picked it from the donations, I thought it was a fairy tale book. I didn't understand a thing when I actually started reading it, though. He told me to start addressing him as Vonnegut when I could read it, and that he would come to pick me up if we meet again. Am I supposed to believe that? Or can I even wait until then? Riel has been gone for over a month, and Father only brought back his Rubik's Cube. Eisen? What does this passage mean? Does it have anything to do with the news just now? Vonnegut. Can the truth be as simple as the news makes it out to be if all of this is pointing toward the past of Vonnegut, the agent? The world around you seems to have grown blurry right when you're about to think a little deeper. The corruption of your mind beacon has been interfering with your judgment. You turn around, hoping to pick the brains of your local guide, but see that he's standing far, fully attentive to the entrance, while Lamia looks this way, still holding the egg. You have time to think about these now. Put the book away. Did you find something? An old book from Lithos that's not going to help us leave this place. But are you okay? She reaches her hand out trying to touch you. What's wrong? You seem like you're crying? At the question, you see your face through the reflection in a puddle. You look on the verge of a breakdown, having had to live through too much pain and suffering. You've been turning a blind eye to everything you've been through, pretending they didn't bother you. But here you are, finally losing your cool. No, can't let it get to me. With everything that needs to be done, you know you've got no time to whine or become anyone's burden. Fine. Really? Yep. We can look into these once we're out of here. Time is running against you. We need to prioritize calling for help. When you look up, you break into a smile that shines through the wounds and bloodstains on your face. T-minus 37.5 hours. Until Dej. A tricky puzzle again. Are those working for Vonnegut all into this kind of stuff? Puzzles? Oh yeah, those. I kind of just brute force it. Oh my god. Are we going coconut? Are you saying are we going crazy? Well, we have we've been injected with a thing, and we only have okay. So from what I remember, we were injected with some sort of like fluid or serum or whatever that once upon being injected with, we only have 48 hours to live from that point. So it's not us going crazy. It's literally our bodies starting to fucking die. Yeah, our body's just close to being dead. So right now we're trying all that we can to find help and to stop the bad guys before we die. There's a lot of shit in this story that's like kind of like crazy. It's cloning and all that stuff, and then rebirth in a very gruesome disturbing way too. These enemies. Insufficient balance. God only knows if this utopia is going to see the light of tomorrow. You tuck away the documents you just found and continue searching for hope in this maze of a control room. After 2 hours of battle and search, the trio finally comes across the transmitter that Lithos has been using to communicate with the world outside. We tinker with it hoping it would work, but see that there are no signals. Let me give it a try, says Lamia, sounding absolutely confident. Are you going to contact Luna? I didn't know you knew how to fix transmitters. Because this is a special channel built by Ascendants. Lamia sounds upset. The confident person that she was just moments ago is nowhere to be found. Anyway, I know how to crack Lithos' cipher to restore the signal. I guess his method can only connect to the ground where the corrupted are. That's fine. Good enough for now. She nods and proceeds to tinker with the transmitter. She operates the machine in awkward movements, every single step taking what seems like an eternity. It seems like someone fiddling with a machine they've never seen before with the help of a manual. Are you familiar with this transmitter? Well, I wasn't, but I am now. What's that supposed to mean? Found anything useful? No, but I know how to work this machine now. I didn't see you take a crash course just now, though. Well, let's just say I did. Well, nothing can surprise me now. Whoa. I found a few messages that Lithos left behind in the punishing that only Ascendants can see. If only Bianca was here. The Phantom Tracer should also be able to read the messages, right? If only Bianca was here. Loninga and his Ascendants came up with a lot of intricate stuff with the punishing and the corrupted. It's pretty surprising. I thought you were supposed to fire the punishing as a railgun, like what Luna did. She murmurs to herself. Got you bad-mouthing your boss right there. Hey, that's not true. She's just too good for this rubbish. See, she can rock this world at a breeze if she wants to. I mean, you've never seen the owner of a food warehouse to try to figure out how to save cans, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Gabriel always says only the weak need to get together to work on their tools and techniques. And that these things don't really mean a thing when they're up against someone overwhelmingly powerful. Lamia looks up with a melancholy face, her gaze penetrating the wall in front of her, crossing the deep sea, and reaching into a starry sky that's not there. Power grows at a diminishing rate, though, except he was never even aware of this. Never even aware, huh? We humans are weak. And she'd be correct. Gabriel is not alone in his ignorance. Most people are trapped in their ignorance without realizing it. It's easy for one to take the things they encounter as the only truth and be clueless or show no interest at all in things beyond their understanding. Many of those who fail to even realize just how ignorant and biased they are. True. Did something just happen? Huh? I feel like there's something about you. You seem a little more composed than you were. It's nothing. I just saw some reflections. Reflections of what? I don't want to talk about it. She snaps back to this very moment of the draining present. Lamia says no more, continuing to operate the transmitter for a while before looking up again. We need an identity card. Like to square one, huh? What were you doing this entire time then? Back to square one, huh? Just got it up and running, but I'm no expert when it comes to cracking security. She taps her toes anxiously on the floor. That Asian's minions sure like to make things complicated. Let's split up and look for this ID card then. I'll take care of it. Let's cut off the mind connection for now so you can rest for a bit here. And you know Lamia will do just fine on her own, since information gathering is one of the few things she's good at. Alright. This time with her cooperation, the mind connection is quickly severed. Then the mermaid disappears without looking back. Can I hear the egg heartbeat? Thump, thump. Unable to continue using the egg, Lamia conceals herself and carefully dodges collapsing structures as monsters emerge everywhere. Soon, she comes across a nearby patrolling corrupted, twists off its head, and reads the memory unit on its memory shell. Cinderella, I need your help here.
Cinderella?
The footage shows Lithos pulling a file from a crack in the wall. Is it nearby? Touching the exact spot she saw in the footage, she notices that the wall itself comprises the punishing's heterocrystalline. Lithos isn't even trying to guard this place. Is it because humans can reach this place at all? Or is there another trap hidden in there? Despite the risk, Lamia knows she has to give it a try to see if it leads them to a way out of here. She reaches out to the heterocrystal and pulls an old file out of it. When she opens it, she sees a yellowed file paper with a discolored ID card clipped to it. Kana Corona? Case file for candidates of Project Catella. ID Kana Corona. Biological age 16. Prior to becoming Catella, CB-103 was a child of natural birth born without the help of the Tree of Life. Her father was researcher Kugawa Corona. After Kana Corona was confirmed to also have the potential to become Catella, the surgery to merge her with the tree is set for December 23rd at 21, which is what, 9 p.m. That's 9 p.m. Yeah, at 9 p.m. The 23rd. That's in 2 days. The Tree of Life. For a split second, the gigantic tree that nurtures the dead crosses Lamia's mind. She's in awe of the technologies from back in the day. Lamia checks the date on the case file and sees that this happened before the punishing outbreak, which means they got to have modified her then. While trying to process what she's just read, Lamia places the ID card with the name Kana Kurono on the console's sensor area. Let's see if it still works. The console, however, displays a message in bold. Insufficient balance. Access denied. Please recharge or try another ID. Hey, are you seriously making your own people pay to unlock this thing when this is your turf? Disbelieving, she gives the console several more tries but gets nothing but the same response. I really want to find Lithos for a fight now. Lamia feels anger boiling in her, but knows that it has to wait. She decides to see if there is a workaround. Guess I'll try my luck with other corrupted. All of a sudden, a muffled noise finds its way into Lamia's auditory module. Who's this? It's like an invitation, a trap that's been set up in advance. Quick, hide here. Cinderella? He isn't going to find us this time. The single-winged girl makes her way into the depths of the room with a smile, as though guiding the lost mermaid. Meanwhile, with the help of your local guide, you have been going through the rooms trying to find clues. When you enter the third room, a notebook peeking out from a crack in the collapsed floor catches your attention. No one, can you grab that notebook for me? There seems to be red tide below. Sure, where is it? Point in the general direction. It takes the two of you, one severely injured and the other 90% blind, a good 3 minutes to finally pull out another notebook from the crack. There are 3 things in it: a case file, an ID card, and a blank contract. In the case file is a photograph of a girl whom you believe you've met before. Cinderella. Is a buddy of ours, Cap? It's a clone. He's a clone. He's a clone. Of someone we, yes. He's a clone of a buddy of ours, yes. This chapter has a lot of cloning stuff involved. But yes, he is our friend in this situation. We did have another friend, but he got absolutely decimated. He got cut into a bunch of pieces. Like Resident Evil with the laser room, or whatever the fuck. The laser hall. Like, he got cut up into pieces, our other friend. He's long dead now. But yes, no one is our friend in this one. You quickly go through the file and learn that it belongs to a subject coded XX003. That sounds about right for the game. Honestly, yes. I've never witnessed anything so violent in this game before. If I can remember, if there was something that happened super violently that was more violent and gruesome, then I just simply don't remember. Which is crazy, because how could you not remember something as crazy as that? Yeah, this game has a lot of dark stuff in it, man. Earlier in this chapter, they mentioned how there was a lab full of researchers and scientists, and they were all gruesomely murdered, where their heads were decapitated and stuffed into the stomach. So, to try and resemble like Project Catilla, where you are reborn through the womb of a mother. So, when I read that part in this chapter, I was like, what the fuck? You quickly go through the file and learn that it belongs to a subject coded XX003. Or, yeah, 003, I mean. The subject was a modestly successful biotech expert born in the Golden Age. For years, she lived with hereditary cancer and, after several recurrences, opted out of treatment to participate in Project Catilla, dead at 41. She devoted everything she had to the Tree of Life from Project Catilla and was reborn 3 times, eventually managing to survive in someone else's body. But it was a failed attempt nonetheless, because XX003 only inherited her scientific talent and not her memories or personality. If there's anything this elaborate project achieved that the cloning technology couldn't, it's the fact that her mind data was put in a test subject from the CB series, and she was therefore reborn with a new body. Cured of her hereditary disease, she took advantage of the opportunity to swap into an appearance that everyone would find pleasing, but that she didn't much care about. Her mother, coded CB107, after giving birth to XX003, suffered from consciousness and organ rejection caused by the Tree of Life, which soon led to her death. Can XX003 still be considered her, given the way things turned out? Flip to the blank contract. District blank, number blank, name blank, age blank. Okay. Subject brief. Fill in the space. Thank you for participating in Project Catilla. As this project is still under development, we would like to take this opportunity to go over its many limitations. 1. The ultimate objective of this project is for you to be reborn with your original memories, personality, and all knowledge intact. 2. This project is currently ineffective for those brain dead or with severe brain damage or disease. 3. Per Article 1092 of the Science and Technology Progress and Protection Act by the world government. Those who have signed agreements and claimed the special benefits will be notified upon admission. Your cooperation is requested if diagnosed with less than a year to live to fulfill agreement obligations. Refer to Appendix 3 for permissions. Reminds me of some of the experiments in some of the vaults in Fallout games. I've never played Fallout myself. Is Fallout a fun game? I heard it's like an open world game, isn't it? I've seen gameplay of it, but I never felt compelled or interested in playing it. Due to the unique nature of this project, we would also like to draw your attention to its potential risks as outlined below. 1. This project involves digitization of your mind, and upon completion, your body as a human will cease to live. 2. Due to technical requirements, anesthesia will not be administered during the digitization of mind. 3. In addition to the data of your mind, you also agree to leave your biological data with us. 4. Once your mind is digitized, we will not be able to offer visitation rights of any form. Signature of subject or family member here. Continue flipping through the notebook. The inner pages of the notebook are printed with screenshots of web pages, making it seem like a nostalgic old man's effort to not forget what's happening. Is this an excerpt from some interview show? The faded images and dialogue carry a witty and humorous exchange between Kilgore Trout and another person whose name has been redacted. Close the notebook. That was Vonnegut, by the way. Or as the community would call him, Nugget. I should probably bring these back and look into them. This ID might help unlock the console. We should either send this to Lamia or ask her to come back. Okay. He steps aside, clearly having no intention to do the favor for you. Question mark? We're getting fewer earthquakes and collapses now, which I think is a sign that Lithos has contained the chaos you caused earlier. Once I'm gone, you'll only make yourself an easy target to either Lithos or the humanoid hetero creatures if you stay here. Thanks, Captain Obvious. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, let's go together. Your legs blistering from the punishing corruption you have, you take a step forward in excruciating pain. You feel as though you were treading on the sharp blade of a knife, like a mermaid. My only experience is in Fallout 3, but folks say New Vegas is the goat. Yeah, I hear a lot about New Vegas as well. Bear the pain and press forward. Sorry. Seeing you trembling in pain, he repeats his apology. Would love to, but I'm a transcendent now. It's okay. Let's keep going. Would have been great if the rest of my squad were here. If only you were the actual known. That's big. Well, would be great if the rest of my squad was here. I wish I was too. The real no one. As the two groups approach each other with different documents in their hands, the Cradle on the verge of death recalls when this nightmare first began. No, her, Catilla's memories were already filled with nightmares unique to the Golden Age before that day even came. This isn't what the higher-ups wanted to see when they decided to invest in you. We're making improvements now. And improvement takes time. Says someone who's still got the time for flirting with the test subject. It's meant to test and see whether the test subject's stability of mind data is correlated to their emotions from when they were alive. Which is why I decided to show her love and encourage her to love. How's that coming along? CB-103 is the only mother who survived. Perfectly compatible with the Tree of Life. We proved that compatibility indeed correlates with the test subject's emotional stability. Is the clone also dying too, Cap? No, but he's really banged up. Like he's 90% blind. He's really banged up. And a little bird told me that you and the test subject had a naturally born child that you named Kana Kurono. Is that true? Yes. That's one hell of an experiment right there. Was this also part of your plan too? The still young Kugawa Kurono looks down without saying anything. See, they illegalized human experimentation with inmates not so long after Professor Trout's incident. What we're giving you now is not just money. The higher-ups weren't going to stick their noses into your research and would have been happy to keep their mouths shut if you got something to show for your work, but we are not seeing any progress these days. It's like when those people online always use like the clapping emoji in between their words. We are not seeing any progress these days. It's so fucking annoying though when people like talk like that online. In a fit of rage, the man showers Kugawa Kurono's face with a spit. Too. You're not raising your child here with the public funds. Put her to good use or get rid of her. You're running short on both time and money here. If this rebirth thing doesn't work, you probably want to start coming up with something that's going to please the higher-ups. Speaking of which, that queen bee system built on the Tree of Life wasn't too shabby at all. It lets Catilla do mind connections with her children and make them obey her orders, right? Ever heard of thought control from one of the hot novels these days? An obedient army that follows every command without question. Ideal, isn't it? Personality and memories aside, talent is all that matters. But I haven't seen progress on your end, and Catilla is being anything but aggressive. Quite a waste, wouldn't you say? Annoying is their game. True. If they're trying to be annoying, then yes, they've accomplished it. I don't think Professor Godwin will want to. Then you either replace him or call it a day before the police come busting your butt. The man emphasizes the phrase "call it a day" in a tone that's anything but normal, which Kugawa Kurono takes as a pronouncement of death with reprieve for the wild project at hand. Only 31 researchers remain, silently watching over the 47 guinea pigs still alive. This dream of eternity they're trying to realize, all while disregarding all taboos and the law, is the very definition of insanity without a single bit of romance. Your funding will be halved. You have 9 months left, so make that count and prove your worth. He leaves in big strides, hands behind his back. Funding got halved. What do we do next? We're too deep into all this illegal stuff to get off the hook. We need to have a meeting with Professor Godwin once he's feeling well enough. He puts on a wry smile. Even the best outcome requires comprehensive expenditure cuts from the subjects to us, everyone involved. God only knows if this utopia is going to see the light of tomorrow. Mask fusion. Oh, we're already coming close. Following the blurry phantoms, Lamia reaches a console piled with numerous monitoring devices. Turning the screen on, she sees only the usable program and quickly calls up its instruction manual. There is, in addition, a bizarre schedule that's been repeatedly corrected, with both handwritten and printed corrections. Kana Kurono's memo. 1. Play hide and seek with blah 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 blah. He won't find you in places without surveillance. Surveillance is everywhere. Blah 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 is inside the monitors. Blah 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 was supposed to be a deceased born to mommy. People said his data was lost a long time ago. Blah 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 said he came here to visit old friends in the Tree of Life. Blah 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 is going to help us. Blah 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 is going to watch over us. Besides him, I only trust mommy and sis. No, I gotta trust Dad. Dad is the only one who can keep us safe. 3. Don't hit the researchers. I need to join the Queen Bee system tests. I need to earn points. I need to earn points. I need to earn points. I can't afford tomorrow anymore. I'm out of time. Only those who pass the tests get to earn points. Renting out lives and providing bodies for mutation experiments are the main sources of funding here. We shouldn't be subjects for body mutation experiments. 4. Don't join the Queen Bee system tests. Don't go haywire. Don't kill. Don't be controlled by mommy. Sis isn't mommy's child. She's the only one who doesn't get controlled. 5. Keep emotions stable. Swear word, emotional stability. What if technology advances one day and they find out emotional stability, mind data stability, and tree of life compatibility are all unrelated? I don't want to do the tests. 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 I don't want to do the test times 100. Holy sh! Oh my god. I don't want to do the tests. Putting down the memo filled with madness, Lamia looks up and sees the notice about the tests on the screen. Points usage and replenishment notice. Starting April 1st, points are required for exchanging flavor enhancers for nutritional supplements and leisure and puzzle models. Points are earned through training completion, experiment participation, and initial evaluation before distribution through the testing system. Points are awarded after the completion of test questions based on test results for unified settlement. What exactly are these tests? Notice on supervising test subjects' participation in tests. CB-103 showed signs of frailty during the Queen Bee system test. To prevent a developmental hiatus, it's imperative to select a new Catilla substitute early. According to existing research by Professor Kugawa Corona, there exists a correlation between mind datification and the emotional stability of test subjects. Attention must be paid to the following when supervising test subjects' participation in emotional tests. 1. Test questions are merely to provoke thought. Supervisors must prevent subjects from skipping reading and thinking to control the tests. 2. As the monitoring devices are the most accurate means of measurement, supervisors need to ensure they are correctly warned. 3. Deduction of points is meant merely as a preview. Actual assessment will be based on feedback from monitoring. 4. Subjects with low scores will be prioritized for transfer to EBFM, experiment based for frame mutation. Do I have to wear all this? Reluctantly, she picks up the connection sensor wire from the equipment, wrapping herself in it with the instructions as the instructions dictate. It says here that I need to stay calm. I believe I'm the happiest person in the world and that all my needs have been met at this place. Ooh. No. 5 points deducted. The curve on the monitoring device reflects Lamia's true mental state as she lets out a wry laugh. Seems like lying isn't going to get me anywhere. The score is just for preview anyway, so I might as well just tell the truth. These tasks and exercises that the administrator left me are no-brainers. Yes. 0. That's close enough. I often feel gloomy. 0 point. It's hard enough living in this world. Don't ask for too much. I have trouble sleeping or often wake up with a start. Bam. Well, that one was easy. I'm willing to breed the dead. It's great redemption. What? 99 points. Oh. I feel somewhat nauseous. Breeding the dead brings me happiness. No. Does everyone who is related to Catilla need to sincerely answer yes to be able to survive? I'm uninterested in anything beyond. Lamia feels dizzy looking at the remaining 100+ questions. That's disturbing. Kana, the test is over. I've got some points left, and I bought the parts for the model ship that you were talking about before. The model ship? Say, why are you always trying to make things happen for people? Is there nothing you want for yourself? Well, I probably just want to see you and Mommy happy. See us happy? She looks down and changes the subject. How in the world did you manage to bring the model ship here like this? I have a service spot that... Oh, here it comes. No sooner has she spoken than the service bot robot places the box containing the model ship's parts on the lounge table. Thank you. With a wry smile, she shapes her wings, temporarily lost for words. Kana, what's wrong? Is everything okay with the test? The test? Oh, well. It went well. Super well. I'm becoming Catilla in an hour. Congrats. We should put this model ship together now before I go. Kana interrupts XS003 before she could finish congratulating Kana. How do we do that? Silly me. We don't even have hands now, do we? Why in the world did I tell you that the model ship looked nice in the first place? Did I make you upset? No, it isn't your fault. She lets out a deep sigh as she looks fondly at the picture of the ship, completed and glamorous on the box. Why don't we have your service robot do it for us? Wait, are you sure about? The ship is innocent, so are you. It's those bad guys that took our hands that we should hate. Kana watches as the service robot opens the box and slowly assembles the model ship. She quietly moves up to XX003 and whispers into her ear. Did you know that everyone is going to die if Mommy puts the Queen Bee system to work 2 more times? Huh? They're trying to figure out ways to make Mommy aggressive, and that's going to waste everyone away. There's no avoiding it. Neither can I. People never know what they have until they lose it. You're CB107's child. Mommy can't control you with the Queen Bee system because you aren't one of her children. And the researchers don't have enough points to afford tomorrow, which means someone is going to come and bust this place down soon. Is that what Mr. said too? No. He showed me how and I had to look into it myself. So you see, Mommy plans to take her revenge on them before everything comes to an end. She wants to kill them all. That mister was right. They should become trees of life themselves if they want to be reborn so badly. This is great. Serves them all right. The more they push the Queen Bee system to secure a future, the faster they bring about their own demise. Promise me that you'll take good care of yourself when we're gone. No. Why should I do that? Because you're CB107's child, and you've got those wings that can take you to the world out there. Why won't you take me with you? We would if we could, but we can't. We would have loved to live on, to leave this place and see the real world out there, and see if it's as despicable as this place. But we don't have that option anymore, unfortunately. I can help you. But you can't become Catilla, can you? That's a good thing, though. You being the one that survives, that is. But what am I going to do without you guys? Who's going to be there smiling for me? XX003 down the road. It's okay. You will be... The ship is assembled, Kana. Kana Kurono, you have 5 minutes until the next item on your schedule. I should go now. With a wry smile, Kana nods and follows the service robot out of the lounge, leaving XX003 standing alone in the fully lit room, lost. At that moment, XX003 wishes she could be the water chasing the ships, and not the reef that the water bypasses. Nothing like giving children hard choices. What am I gonna do? Catilla is a perfect mother, so I, XX003, am not afraid. I, XS003, am not afraid of becoming Catilla. Don't leave me all by myself. Well, that's not something I'll ever be able to ask for. I'm just a replica that looks a lot The wires of the monitors tangling around Lamia have turned into red umbilical cords, connecting her to the giant red egg. It was only at this moment that she realized that this test and machine had been a trap set for consciousness fusion from the start. Catilla's piercing screams flood into her room like a tide, swiftly overwhelming Lamia, who is already on the verge of chaos. Enticed by the screams, a plethora of hetero creatures file in. The control room is sealed on all sides, leaving no way out and making mind connection impossible. They came with intense aggression, utterly different from the hetero creatures that had surrounded Lamia before for a tentative attack. They now seem like they are acting with clear instructions. The frenzy caused by the hetero creatures causes the red tide to splash onto Lamia's lap. She has no more time to think. Her consciousness plunges into the crimson sea. My mind is fusing with the egg. Wake up, Lamia. Whoa. Catilla has been recycled. XX003 is still alive. Please save her, mister. Her self-cognition is already in turmoil. Even if she's saved, blah blah blah. Even if she's saved. I remember playing this before. How did I do this before? How did I do this before? I don't remember. Oh, that's... Huh? What? What? I can't remember how I did this before. There we go, Jesus. It's a weird puzzle. Let's give her a new name. Not XX003 or Kana, but one that truly belongs to her. Oh, jeez. She reminds me of a bird that's good at camouflaging herself when it's little. Let's call her Cinderella. Hope she will find her true self. Keeps messing my videos quality to 720. Can't run that on YouTube. Oh boy. Jeez. Ugh. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. There's only so many times I can dodge. I only have so much dodge gauge, game. Come on. I can't dodge everything. I'm almost dead already. They attack so frequently, I can't dodge at all. Yeah, I can't dodge that at all. Oh my god. Like, if it's one of them, then it's whatever. But if it's both of them, they attack at like different intervals, both. So I can't like dodge at all. Can't dodge all of this, man. I have none of. Look at my gauge. I there's nothing I can do. Oh my god. I died twice now. I got one of them, so I don't have to worry anymore. Why is my... I can't lock onto them. Why? Oh my god. I can't lock onto them! What the hell? I have to change my camera. Yeah, I can't lock onto them. That's so buggy. Jesus. Don't get caught up in the eggs memories. I can't read that fast, too. Jeez. Oh, that was a rough one. Promised demise. 33.5 hours. Emerging from the looping illusion, Lamia can't stop herself from shaking. She glances at the human commandant, covered from head to toe in wounds, in front of her, and no one who stands so far away she can barely see him. Looking at the sludge around her that used to be the hetero creatures, she quickly realizes what happened. Is that mind fusion? She realizes that the egg in her arms is the root of all evil, but she clutches tightly to it all the same, like an orphan holding a weapon on the battlefield. It's all good now, Lamia. How long have I been here? Not counting the time it took me to come here, about 1 hour. Did you come here? To give you this ID card. Lamia falls silent when you pass her the ID card with XX003 written on it. Let's just hope we've got enough money putting these two together. What do you mean? Lamia quickly brings you up to speed about the illusions she saw during her mind fusion. These hetero creatures are so organized they've got to be under someone's command. It could be Lithos, no? Did I flatten these guys? You did. Your mind was already in chaos when I got here. You were going crazy attacking those hetero creatures when I got here. And you only calmed down after reconnection. You've been sitting here zoning out for quite some time since. I was zoning out? So why didn't you just take the egg? Humans might not be able to touch it, but you have someone with you who can. Because I trust you. What? I said I trust you, Lamia. I trust that you don't hate this world as much as you make yourself seem. And that you care more about the humans who brought you into this world. Am I right? Lamia lowers her head deep in memory because of these words. Do you really mean it? That this isn't just some temporary partnership sort of thing? But that you actually trust me? I did. Or else I would have done things differently. Why do you think I connected with you knowing that my mind beacon would get contaminated? This is an utter lie. You proposed taking the egg when no one told you that Lithos was coming this way. She's calming down with the connection. This is our only chance. The egg is very important to Lamia, and she's not going to hand it over without putting up a fight. There's no way I can keep her tamed with a mind connection once she gets out of the deep sea with it. What will she do with the egg then? If this ends up in the hands of another ascendant who hates humans even more. We can't afford to bear another catastrophe. We have to make this opportunity count and take control into our own hands. You can touch the egg. It's going to make that mind connection between me and the transcendent easier too. Lithos can still mess with my frame though. He might not be able to make me do what he wants me to do, but giving me the egg is like handing it right to him, because he can control the punishing around me. Come on, I need a workaround. I don't have one. Lithos is going to merge with Catilla's consciousness, even if he dies in her womb. Being an ascendant just makes it that much easier for him. I thought about charming the enemy into working for us. I can hold the egg for as long as you want me to if we get Lithos out of the way. When I barely fit the dictionary definition of presentable. Come on, you look presentable with a capital P. There goes nothing. Squeeze out an affectionate look. Just keep your smile. Lamia is oblivious to your desperate will to survive. To her, you're a battered and bruised human with a wry smile who's putting a world of trust in her. In your eyes, having clouded from all the damage you have taken and the corruption, she sees sadness, separation, and trust, all of which she has seen. Like what she saw on that rainy day. You. The fragile walls of her swaying heart buckle under the weight of her memories, and yet Lamia is holding on to the last bit of her rationality. Lamia can't measure how much truth there is to your words, but she now doesn't see a point for her to argue with you about anything besides the egg. Besides, she somewhat enjoys this hard-earned respect. Do you think humans and ascendants can coexist peacefully? Seizing a rare opportunity for dialogue, Lamia asks you, someone whom she believes thinks about world peace and all. It raises a question that crosses her mind every now and then. That's for sure, although there's no telling whether they'll be of equal standing when that day comes. Well, I've observed a bit of change in Luna's attitude these days. With the clock ticking down on you, Lamia drifts away from the here and now into that journey. What the hell? Dreamy journey of hers that she hasn't yet had enough of. Lamia. She looks this way with a dreamy look in her eyes. Listen, Lithos is coming this way. He and Catilla will find you as long as you have the egg with you. We'll only get to use those 2 ID cards if we defeat Lithos. There's no future if we don't get rid of Lithos now. Get rid of Lithos. Get rid of me. Lithos. It took him a little longer than you thought, but here he is. Thought you wouldn't come. Dealing with those rooms that you people messed up and left to rot definitely took me some time. And it doesn't help that you aren't the easiest person to find in this world. You've been staying holed up knowing that the last shot takes 48 hours. Either you know what's going on, or... Lithos scoffs at the young man behind you. Someone has been feeding you information and guiding you? Why bother asking when you already know the answer? And the whole story about how you can't see, that's a lie too. You think everyone and everything in this world needs to meet all your ends and wants, Lithos, and so do your fathers whose guts you hate. The purple-haired ascendant says no more, his smile fading away as he turns around coldly. Behind him, another shadow emerges in the darkness. Catella. Lamia, give Cinderelic back to Mother now. Is that really Cinderelic's mother? The egg in Lamia's arms twitches like a fish out of water. Lamia, those are some very hurtful words that just came out of your mouth. But you've been feeding her nothing but lies. She's not going to find herself even if she's reborn. She's just going to become one of your tools again. Says someone who's been using the kid as a tool this entire time. Do it, Lamia. The mermaid silently raises her weapon. Saying nothing, Lithos walks up this way, all the while keeping Catilla behind himself. Let's get down to dealing with the traitor first. No one, watch out! We can't lose anyone here. Lamia, we need your help. No one, watch out! Lithos, she is here. There's no way you can bypass her enhanced permissions to control the punishing. During that fragmented hallucinatory journey she had, Lamia caught glimpses of the truth within the egg. I can do this all day, Lamia. And the rest of you, I'm sure Catella will have no trouble dealing with. Oh boy.
Waxさん、できればあなたを殺したくない。もう選択の余地はないんだ。最後まで僕に醜い悪あがきをさせてよ、ラミア。私の目の前から消えろ。一体私の目の前から消えろ。
Oh god, they caught me. Jesus. What? Alright.
待って待って、話を聞いて。これが
Holy shit, dude.
童話の終わり。一体
God damn it.
静かにしろ。私の目の前から
Honestly
あの
getting
よ
hit.
うに消えろ。
What? She caught... he caught me again? How? Ugh. Step by step, Lamia walks up to Lithos as she keeps her eyes on him. Lithos, on the other hand, keeps a satisfied smile on his face, even when his head is penetrated. This is good enough. Mission complete, and everything went according to plan. He lies to himself. The final chessboard. Quietly, the player lay their nearly gone life on the chessboard, prepared for the worst as they may take the next move. T-minus 32.1 hours. When Lamia is done washing herself clean of the blood and rejoins the human, no one has succeeded in luring Catilla away. No one barely manages to dodge Catilla's vital hits, even as he gives up attacking her altogether and concentrates fully on dodging her attacks. Yeah, he said that line, and originally it was read as he says to himself. And then at the final part, he says it again, but it says he lies to himself. So the plan was not according, and so it didn't go according to plan. He's buying time for us. He's buying us time. Smoker's cough. In the short few minutes Lamia was gone to clean herself up, the human had become all but soaked in blood. Are you okay? More so than it is meant to check on the human's physical condition, the question is meant to find out how they're feeling on the inside. The human looks up at her with a weary smile. It's just the corruption. I am doing just fine. Corruption? When she looks up at Catilla, it hits her just how much damage it can cause when humans and hetero creatures come into contact. Amputation is the least that this humanity's hero will face, even on the off chance that they can make it back home safely. Should I help deal with Catilla? No. Let's head to the communication room first. No one showed me this place. That's our rendezvous point. Where? It's secret base. It's safe from the collapse. It won't catch Catilla's attention. We can only use it as an emergency shelter. Red borders. We're hurt. Yeah, we're hurting. Gamers, we are hurt badly. Yep. Because it's only a matter of time before they find us, if we go there. Got it. Lamia holds out her hand trying to help the human get back on their feet, and sees that their feet have blistered to the point of looking like pulps of blood and flesh. Ew. Do you want me to carry you? She looks away, feeling awkward. Lamia has been avoiding eye contact with everyone she's seen the entire way. That'd be very kind of you. The mermaid gathers her long hair to the front and bends down and offers her back to the human. She offers to catch and hold the human with one hand while still holding the egg with the other. Keep yourself steady as you lean against her back. Holding onto Lamia's hand, you stand up somewhat precariously. As the two of you come into contact, her cool body provides a moment of relief to the burns you've sustained, as her back becomes glaringly stained with your blood. You want to apologize to her, yet as she travels down the bumpy path, there is nothing you can do but lean your head powerlessly against her shoulder, every bump seemingly delivering a major blow to your head. Hey, it's a little... My neck is getting tickled. I'm sorry. Halfway through your apology, blood drips out of both your mouth and nose like pearls coming off a broken string, soaking Lamia's cheeks in soft long hair. Sorry. You blurt out an apology, knowing full well that it is the punishing and the mind-beaking corruption that are to blame. Stop apologizing. It's 33 hours left, by the way. When Lamia is back to the transmitter, she sees that it's already been fixed and places the two ID cards bearing Kana Kurono and XS003 respectively on the sensor. As the green light comes to life, so too does the console's interface. Guess this will do. Lamia sets you down, careful so as to not cause further damage to your body. Thank you. You try your best to keep your fingers from shaking and suppress the excruciating pain coming from your fingers as you punch the passcode into the transmitter. With it, a connection icon pops up on the screen. Please. After 16 long seconds, a construct soldier you've never seen before shows up on the screen. Who's this? Gee, the video quality is terrible. Introduce yourself and ask for help. Emergency code. Ask to be connected to someone in charge. Ah, who in the world is this? You know what? Let me just put you through here. Yeah, we're very squishy right now. One little touch will make us explode, I think. Like pop like a balloon. 3 seconds later, you see Celica on the screen. Celica. It's me, Usabeni. I'm currently 5,000 meters below sea level. She seems a little confused. You speak faster, trying to explain your situation. She puts on a meaningful smile, nodding to show she's listening while reaching for the console to her left. Something's off. The way she seems and the way she's reacting. Something is just not right. And it doesn't help that you can barely think now when your brain is barely working, because your mind beacon has been contaminated. What in the world is going on? You don't really know if your brain is still working or if you've gone mad. Celica? I'm listening. Like a sculpted mask, Celica's face flickers in and out of view. What's going on? Celica! Watch out! Lamia grabs you by your jacket and jerks you from the screen. A split second later, the console blows up with a loud bang, torn apart amidst countless crimson sparks. Severely injured and no longer the agile person you've always been, you fail to dodge the explosion completely and end up with your thigh penetrated by a shard. Amplified by the drug, a pain courses through you like electricity, draining the last bit of strength from your legs and uprooting your nerves. What exactly is happening? As you think out loud, you see the world around you slowly blacking out as the long overdue dizziness washes over you. Try to breathe. Puff and I'll blow your house down. You have to try to fight off the lightheadedness to keep the world around you from being swallowed by darkness. When your vision finally returns, you find yourself sitting in a corner in the control room, soaked in cold sweat, your legs spasming in pain. You know you can't get back on your feet again. Hesitant and seemingly trying to find the right words to say, she squats a few steps away from you and pokes the air at your eye level. With it, the red mist disperses and ripples away. Remove the filter mask to breathe deeply. Try to remain calm. Are you feeling better? Being an ascendant and not needing to breathe or worry about the punishing, Lamia is completely oblivious to what you're going through. She looks down at you as you struggle to breathe, the same way she probably would a puppy she sees in a downpour. You have no idea what just happened back there. She looks at the shattered transmitter with sincere confusion. Did I screw someone? Did I screw up somewhere? The last thing you want to do at this point, however, is trying to figure out if she screwed up somewhere. The naive hope you had been holding on to swelled into a big bubble and blew up right in front of you, leaving nothing but a pitch-black abyss. With its mouth wide open, fate has waited for creatures to come at it, promising no way out unless they fight to the death. Hey! Hey! "26.2 hours. After God only knows how long, you awake in pain. You try to work your fingers but can now barely feel anything in your limbs. This, you figure, is about as far as your body has come. But it hasn't even been 48 hours yet. Possibly because of the influence of the drug, your mind, as opposed to your gradually deteriorating mobility, sharpens. Working your eyes, you find yourself lying in the hallway of a deserted aquarium. Seeing the syringes and empty bags of medical fluids lying around you, you figure you've been given painkillers and polypill electrolyte solutions, and that no one was probably here. You're awake. Holding the egg, the mermaid leans against the railing. Did you bring me here? Yes. I didn't know what to do when you passed out cold, so I thought I'd bring you here first. No one did some emergency first aid on you with the kit he brought here. I'm surprised you weren't the one that did it. No, doctor. And I was trying to keep the punishing in check. Pretty sure your corruption would have gotten worse with a transcendent around you. And your skin is so bad that it took the dude 7 or 8 tries to finally get the needle into you. Which makes that a blind spot. Good heavens. Thank you, Lamia. I don't know what I would have done without you. She nods her head without saying anything, her tail swinging harder than it did moments ago, it finally coming to a stop after she waxed the railing. Nothing like giving hope to get it snatched away, I know. That's true despair. And where is no one now? He left right after he was done helping you. Seems like he hates Ascendant's guts. Awkward silence ensues. So, what do we do next? I don't think Lithos can hold out for much too long with Catilla since he isn't completely stable. And this place is going to start falling apart again if he has another breakdown. No one's a bro, yeah. And water pressure is going to be an issue even for me when that happens. Guess we're 5,000 meters under sea level? Best I can handle is 4,000. And all these hetero creatures are going to go on a killing spree if we let them out of here, and we've got to keep them under control with the egg. She stops talking, but she needn't say more for you to catch her drift. Lamia wouldn't be able to fight and fend for herself underwater without you around. No, when her mind is in chaos. Or not when her mind is in chaos. It hits you now that there is just no way for the three of you to cheat death. Lamia decides to look away from the elephant of the room for the time being. I noticed just now when we got here that this whole place itself is an actual structure. I guess it's either a deserted submarine or some sea base built on top of this place? An actual structure, you said? Yes, it's completely different from that place out there that kept falling apart. We're in the body of a hetero creature most of the time back there. And Lithos probably meant for things that were falling down to keep humans safe, right? Humans would have died from corruption without those things and an ascendant to keep the punishing in check. And it was only when we got here that I saw that the hetero creature was connected to some underwater ruins. It's a big sub. This place only looks like a super complicated maze because Lithos built most of the doors to these tunnels. And there are all these red tide undercurrents underneath. Except for this door. You have to come all the way here to see this channel that you missed. Let's see. I took a look at where this place is connected to the place we were at just now. And it seems like these ruins are all going to sink and get crushed in water if the hetero creature has a complete breakdown and this connection is severed. And given the way things are, we have another 20 to 30 hours at most. When Lamia is done talking, you find yourself deep in thought and prolonged silence. Is there anything I am missing? There is, and it's something I've been trying to avoid at all costs. But I'm at my wit's end here. Is it because of Catilla? You've been avoiding it at all costs? I know for a fact that she's not going to let us off the hook now, so continuing with the operation would still be highly risky. I mean, we can always try to figure out a workaround as long as I've got the egg and you around, but you... Yeah, that too. Where's Catilla going to go if we do manage to get out of here? Even if we manage to make it back on land. Knowing Vonnegut and how carefully you planned this whole thing. Sure, there's going to be someone waiting to pick up Catilla. And it's only a matter of time before this plan is set in motion again. if he just grabs Catilla and leaves? Is this person seriously still worried about other people when they're on the verge of death? We can't. What happened at Pulia Forest Park? Then again. The human lets out a deep sigh, which causes your body to curl up, which in turn stretches your skin and causes still more pain. Even in such excruciating pain, the human raises another question. Mia, do you think you can beat Catilla on your own? No, not when I'm here. Say if we could leave this place and go to the sea surface, or maybe just somewhere where the punishing isn't as dense. Would your answer be different? Why do we need to beat Catilla though? She keeps those hetero creatures in check for Vonnegut, which is good for everyone. Good for everyone. When she doesn't give a damn about mankind. You've seen those hetero creatures that she gave birth to, haven't you? They seem anything but friendly if you ask me. We can't let Catilla get out of her alive, and that goes for the eggs too. Except you don't have a clue how to get out of here, not when getting out of here comes at the cost of a life. Ask Babylonia for help. But for them to help you, they would have had to be notified ahead of time, and it'd take time for them to send people down, even if Catilla catches their attention while getting out of the sea. And Vonnegut will likely have been long gone with Catilla by then, meaning you've done everything for absolutely nothing. Make Lamia Catilla's second consciousness. Lamia would never agree to it. Even on the off chance that you managed to pull that off, there is no way Lamia would wait for Task Force to get here to kill her. If anything, she'd leave this place hating mankind even more and come back for retaliation somewhere down the road. Explore other options. But there are no other options, and you're now mentally beating yourself up for blowing up every single one of your replicated consciousnesses that there was. I think I'm losing my mind here. Desperate times call for desperate measures. You know full well that those replicated consciousnesses are no different from you, and that it's not your place to decide their fate simply because they're replicated beings. Would I be okay if somewhere treated Lucia the same way? Calm down and think. On top of your own possible death, you now have to think about the damage Catilla might wreak once she gets out of here, and all the lives that would be lost because of that. There's only one way out of this. I'll become Catilla's second consciousness. There is a chance that you might be able to keep Catilla stalled if you do it. Lamia might not be completely happy with this plan, but you just need to keep Catilla and Vonnegut stalled until help from Babylonia gets here. And let the other Grey Ravens, oblivious to your plan, kill you. Quietly, you lay your nearly gone life on the chessboard, prepared for the worst as you take the next move. Say something to persuade her. Lamia, what does this egg mean to you? An opportunity to fulfill my wish. And what is your wish? I want to go somewhere far and see what it's like. I want to catch up to those people and see for myself the starry sky they've given up their lives trying to pursue, and discover the truth the universe holds. Persuasion roll. Would you still want to do all that at the cost of destroying everything there has ever been? Do you fancy a future where there is no one? I don't. But what does it matter? People die and so do civilizations. I've seen it over and over. Lives hardly mean anything when the universe reverts to when it began, and a future without humans is nothing when you compare the two. She looks ahead, her gaze merging into the void of the starry sea. Still enthralled by those illusions, her soul wanders afar. That last thing you said just now makes you sound like an ascendant. But that's exactly what I am. You sounded more like an ascendant than you did Lamia. What do I need to say to sound like myself then? You didn't object when I said you cared about the humans who brought you into this world. So, do you? I do. But there will come a day when humans and civilizations on Earth all die. That much I know to be true. I know I'm sounding contradicting here, but that's fine. Being contradictory is being human. It's possible for you to care about someone, while at the same time feeling so sick and tired that you want to give up on them. But there is nothing I can... Why did you save me then, if you really didn't care about humans? Is it only because you find me useful? No. Well, that's part of it, but it's mostly because of what you said. But these are two different things. I'll always have the choice of saving you as long as I have the egg, but that choice will be taken away from me if I don't have the egg. The human, left with no choice, prostrates before her silently. I want to make this chance count and live life as my true self. You see, I don't have to be Lillian or any of those people I've worked with. I can just be out there without having to worry about anything. And where does that leave Cinderella? These words hit home. It is true that the egg helped her become Lamia, while Cinderella was stripped of her name and freedom and turned into a tool. Is it because she's useful? Or is it because people don't get to choose if they become one with hetero creatures? But what choice did Lamia have herself? No. I never meant to. Lamia looks at you with utter sadness, because you, one of the handful of people in her life who trusts what she has to say, look exhausted and disappointed. She doesn't want to treat Cinderella as a tool to get herself what she wants anymore. Cinderella? I understand what it's like getting left behind and stranded. That's why I have these wishes. Lamia looks up and, like a prisoner yearning for the world out there, gazes toward the illusory starry sky deep in her memories. The bright light she saw in the simulation still beckoned to her, casting her into a sea of confusion. Yet she understands that it's not a desire for power that drives her toward the starry sky in pursuit of the truth of the universe, but a longing to see for herself what the place is like that they all were willing to die for. She strives to secure her own footing, yet cannot ignore the fact that the egg in her arms is none other than Cinderella. Her memories are still deeply rooted in many vibrant souls. She has never been one who doesn't care about people. But once a specific someone becomes all of humanity, or the concept known as humanity, then it becomes irrelevant to her and stops mattering as much. She remains, always, an outcast in pursuit of those she's familiar with. Listen, Lamia. Seeing her hesitate, you open your mouth, knowing exactly what's going through her mind. There are many out there, like you, like Cinderella, seeking help. They don't have what it takes to become ascendants, or even constructs. And I'm sure that a lot of these people would enjoy being around you, even if you don't have the egg. Are you sure? Yes. And so I do. And I just wanted to say, thank you. I will be gone before you know it. And I'm sure you know why, no? I just wish we'd met in better times. So I could get to know you for who you are and understand your struggles. But it's okay. Because there are a lot of humans out there. Humans, like the ones who brought you into this world. And you do know what took them away, don't you? The punishing. And if the egg is taken away, which, as you know, will cost more lives than you can imagine, leaving you all alone in the vast expanse of the starry sky. Is that the kind of world you want to see? I know, but I just... Right when Lamia opens her mouth to speak, you hear Catilla's cry coming from the distance. She's here. Lamia! I'm going to bait her away from here. We'll be back after that. Well, that picked up quick. Bidding farewell. We don't belong to the same floor. I passed by the one you're on during my ascent, and now I see it again as I go down. However, I don't think I'll ever ride this elevator again, so let's say our farewells now. Save or destroy the egg? I don't know. I don't remember. We'll get to know at the end. Oh wait, no, the egg is safe and sound by the end of it, I think. No, the egg is safe and sound by the end of it. You'll see once we get there. A young man crawls in moments after Lamia has left. He drops a blanket next to you and throws up his arms to show that he had no luck finding anything useful. Lithos is now Cadilla's second consciousness. I sealed off some entrances, but had no luck finding the things I stored up before. I just gave you a bit of ketamine. It's all I brought in here. See, Lithos has banned the use of anesthetics. It's fine. This young man looks so much like Noah that you just can't bring yourself to tell him to give up his life. But given about 20 hours left, you can't seem to think of anything better than this. Let's take the egg first. Okay. Lamia is having trouble making up her mind now. She doesn't know what she should do with the egg. We need to take advantage of this and stop her, or it all gets out of hand and turns into a disaster. A lot of people are going to. We've all worked so hard for so long, so we can't. What about you? That ascendant girl is feeling overwhelmed by all the choices she has, but that goes for you. So what about you? Aren't you going to sacrifice yourself because you're at your wit's end? Avoid sacrifice, unless it's the only way for you to fight back. Look who's talking. I know. Hang in there. I know you're trying to save the world here, but that doesn't mean you should overlook all other possibilities. Throwing your life away like it's trash isn't exactly smart. So hang in there and give it a few more tries. You'll always have the option of giving up and telling the world that you've tried it all when you really have tried it all. Running back at you. Without saying anything, he waves his hand before turning around to head toward the exit. Is that all you have to say to me? Unfortunately, yes. Aren't you going to give me a piece of your mind for not asking you to stay? Destroying Lithos' plan has always been my goal. Please, say something. No one slowly turns around and comes back to you. This is the first time he's disregarded your corruption and come this close to you since the two of you met. He bends now and runs his finger gently across your face, leaving burning pain on your blistering wounds. Ouch. Goodbye. After that, the young man walks up to Catilla, who's caught in a standoff with Lamia. Let me cut you a deal, Ascendant, if you want to leave this place with that commandant of yours. The two quickly get out of Catilla's sight. No one brings Lamia up to speed on his escape plan. He plans to get out of the deep sea using Catilla, which is going to make him Catilla's second consciousness, allowing him to seize Lithos' control over her. I'll have Catilla open a temporary exit in the decompression chamber. Go through there and free her from her shackles, and then you'll be able to leave with the human. How are you going to seize control from Lithos, though? Your consciousness is just going to become one with his if you go in now. Catilla is going to lend me a hand. She's going to give birth to him ahead of schedule. How are you going to make her help you? She's still awake, and I've been there and done that. What do you stand to gain from this deal then? The egg. I need the egg to keep Catilla under control from the inside, so I can take advantage of her protection and keep you from turning into a pulp 5,000 meters underwater. Let's go through your choices here again. 1. Agree to this deal, which means that you get to get out of here with that commandant after freeing Catilla's womb from the shackles. Or 2. We can all wait for Catilla's womb to collapse and kill us all. She's essentially given only one choice, and yet she's seeing an opportunity, one with which she can make all her wishes come true. But what's going to happen after that? Leaving you all alone in the vast expanse of the starry sky. Lamia isn't sure if that's what she really wants. No. Giving up on wishes is hard, but hating the outcome after they are realized is even worse. Guess I don't really want to have to deal with the hassle of making them come true. This is what she tells herself. Here, take it. Reluctant as she is, the mermaid lets go of the egg. Talk reminds me of Bloodborne. The umbilical cords, yeah. Okay. The young man takes out a hastily scribbled map. Go to this place and wait here. I'll open an exit here. Wait, I have one more condition to add. When you become Catilla, can you find Shorthalt's name tag for me? I want to return it to the Commandant. It's supposed to be important to humans, right? Okay. The mermaid leaves quietly, heading swiftly toward the location marked on the map. In the empty tunnel, no one is the only one that remains as Catilla approaches this way. His mother, now a monster, stops before him. Clearly, the two consciousnesses in there know what he's up to. Catilla, I have Cinderella here with me. You've always wanted to apologize to her, haven't you? Come and take her then. I know you can fight Lithos to a certain extent. The two consciousnesses, each harboring different thoughts, stagger forward, struggling. Thank you. And thus, this life that had made the wrong choice finally found the right path for itself. Alone, he escaped the absurdities of this world. Oh, he's dead. With what sounded like the lamentations of a whale, Lamia left the cage that had been imprisoning her. What enters her visual module is a vast and boundless underwater ruin. This is beyond insane. When exactly did Lithos put all of these here? Is there still time? The Commandant is beyond exhausted. Gotta hurry up. With a flick of her tail, Lamia swims toward where the punishing is most concentrated, because she's sure that's where Catilla and the hetero creature are being kept imprisoned. For the first time in her life, she feels glad to be an Ascendant. And this is the second time in her life that she's glad to have the tail of a fish. The human, on the other hand, has a dream on the verge of death. In the dream, they're back in the hall where their graduation ceremony was held. About to leave the school, the graduates all sing the all too familiar school anthem together. As the flames spread in the distance, the pioneers' rows become stained with blood. I bid farewell to yesterday's campus, armed with everything I have been taught. Their eyes sparkle, filled with hope for the future. A road emerges from the ruins, marked by the footsteps of all those who went before us. Yes, we're all here because of everyone who's fought the war of yesterday for us. No, that's not it. People who once laughed around us all turned into unrecognizable corpses before we even knew it. leaving us with only a handful of them. No one can say on their behalf that they regret not, as they all left this world with unrealized wishes. Yet every time this song is sung, you're taken back to the graduation ceremony. You've told those on the ground that they haven't been forsaken, for a future without strife, for our home on earth, for the young students to get themselves ready, and for those who you love to be able to take a moment to breathe. Is this your memory? Everything is shining so brightly. Before you know it, a woman stands right beside you. Her presence on the brilliantly lit stage is hardly fitting, reminiscent of a burnt hole on a beautiful tapestry, utterly out of place. Are you really willing to give up all these to merge your consciousness with mine? You're different from them. You still have time. You can't even imagine how painful it's going to be. Our memories will merge, and you'll feel the pain I've had to live through. Understand why I can't control myself, and why I hurt people. It'll be like a dream where your flesh withers and your soul burns. You feel as if your lower body and abdomen have disappeared, leaving only your upper body hanging from the tree of life as you become one with it. You'll find countless lives and soon to be deceased connected to your consciousness, forcing you to experience the joy and pain of birth. And even if you cry for help, you'll get nothing but infant cries in response. If you still wish to proceed, then promise me one thing. Please help me kill myself. The woman's figure vanishes, after which a massive snowfall engulfs the auditorium. When you look behind you, you see all the undergraduates looking worriedly back this way, something you once did back when you were still an undergraduate yourself. You know that your time is drawing to a close, and that you have to go now, into an uncharted tomorrow that you need to explore with your life at stake for those who stand behind you, like all those who came before you have done. Walk forward. Don't go, Commandant. A pair of arms wrap around you. You turn around and see the other gray ravens looking back at you. Just give us some time to make you stay. We don't want to part ways just yet, even if that's meant to happen someday. Could you trust us a little more? I'm sure Vonnegut or the hetero creatures won't have anything on us as long as we stick together. So please, I'm begging you, please don't go there. They're right, but you gotta keep in mind that you're not alone. Shorthalt pats you on the shoulder, smiling as he steps into the swirling snowflakes. There's a bunch of people waiting for you now. He too catches up to Shorthalt and vanishes into the seemingly endless snowfield. Commandant, can I really stay? Can I really believe what they said? Can I really believe that they'll make it here before Vonnegut picks up Catilla? That this disaster will be nipped in the bud before it wreaks any damage? That what happened at Pulia Forest Park won't happen again? And that you won't be bedridden and powerless while those you hold dear sacrifice? You find yourself swinging between the two choices. T-minus 13 hours. Cold droplets fall on the face, awakening the one wandering in dreams. When you open your eyes, the absurd paradise, having peeled away, now shows its true colors. Before you know it, Lamia is back to being soaked from head to toe. I found Shorthalt's name tag. She places a rusted name tag next to you. Thank you. The egg. I gave it to no one, so reach your hands at her. She hesitates, unsure whether to hold your hands. Place some protective barriers beneath you. This place is back to being the hetero creature it was and is dangerous to humans. There were more things holding Catilla in place than I thought, so it took me quite some time to break them. But it all worked. We're leaving the seabed now and will soon reach the sea surface. Tears trickling down Lamia's cheeks land on your tattered jacket. Is she crying when she's got nothing but good news to share? Hang in there. We're almost there. Yes, I know. I'm hanging in there. For people who are waiting for me. She nods sadly. Just how long has it been already? It's been about over 10 hours. No, I mean, how long have they been waiting for me? What's the date now? My terminal still worked when we first fell in here. I guess it's probably March 30th or 31st, taking into account how long we've been spending in here. What? I mean, it could be either March 30th or 31st now. Are you sure? It's April Fool's Day. Any idea what we're getting comment on this year? This is the last thing you heard Lucia say before you went missing. Yeah. What year is it now? The mermaid, taken aback, utters a number. A whole year has passed since you went missing. Are you certain? I am, because I checked the time before we fell in here. You remember going missing on April 1st, which means... When was the last time you saw me? She falls silent, your seemingly weird questions apparently starting to make sense to her. So this is what that was all about. Are you the very commandant that Grey Raven is leaving no stone unturned trying to find? Or are you one of the 5 they don't care about at all? Or maybe you are the true one, but Grey Raven has located one of the 5 and halted their pursuit of you. Neither Lamia nor Lithos lied. It all makes sense now. You remember the name known, but not this incident? The current you isn't the you who knows what happened to his eyes. You've been in a state of memory loss, or rather there are a bunch of your clones here with no memories. So, you're the real deal? Your complete memories, the terminal that Lee left you with, and all the messages from everyone. Don't think you're gonna be happy seeing 5 copies of yourself, are you? Well, guess this is where accidents and memory loss come in handy. Who else am I? I am not myself. But what about the other Grey Ravens? What would they make of you when they finally find you and see that you've lost all your memories? But you were dreaming of them just now. This is beyond absurd. All of this would have been true had they not been deceived. In any case, this, is a dream that will never come true. See, this is, when I first read through this, when it first came out, this story, this patch, this part right here is what got me like messed up for the next 2 days. Like, I was still processing this entire scene, this entire moment here for like the next 2 days. It really messed me up mentally. It's me. I've been abandoned. What did you say? They aren't coming. No one is coming to stop Catilla. From the get-go, the abandoned are the only ones partaking in this parade that takes place at this slaughterhouse. Shorthalt, who's deemed dead. No one who made the wrong choice. Cinderelic, who finished all preparations only to find her target gone. The desperate who have gone missing. And you yourself, who has been sleeping here for a whole year. Reaching for Lamia, your hand falls powerlessly, like an apple ripe to the point of rotting, and lands on the ground, making a slimy sound. You might have lived with more honor throughout your life than you could have hoped for, But none of that hardly matters when you've been reduced down to a bloody pulp, looking death straight in the eye. But this makes no sense at all. You're supposed to be indispensable to Babylonia. Being the cautious ascendant that she is, Lamia has never let her guard down, thinking that the world would forsake her the moment she screws up or proves anything less than useful. Which is why she respects people who garner others' respect and possess a wealth of knowledge without having to work overly hard to prove their worth. She is seeing one such person right before her, and yet... I can't believe they abandoned you just like that. But worth is relative. No one's coming to save us now, because it's been one entire year. It's been one entire year since you, the player character, went missing. You are 5,000 meters deep, 5 meters below sea level. So looking for you from the surface is going to be very difficult. And within that whole year, it's entirely possible that they have already found another version of you. Now, whether or not the commandant you see right here lying on the ground is a clone or the real one, we don't know. A lot of people are saying that this is just another clone that's dying right here, and that the people from the surface found the real one, but we don't know that. But yes, no one's coming, because it's assumed from here at this moment that they already found you, just a different you, another copy, another clone of you. So there's no reason to come for you, to try and save you, because you were already saved. What's valuable to some may be worthless to others, which is why you never want to measure things by their worth. So, when you think about the Little Mermaid, you wouldn't say her tale is useless, would you? Simply because she gave it up so she could have a place in mankind's world. And a noble prince is as good as a rug if he fails to live up to people's expectations. Not trying to say I've ever been any sort of a prince, though, of course. You see, I've been working harder than most people, because I know I'm the exact opposite of a genius. But that makes no sense. 931206. This has been my terminal's passcode for as long as God only knows. 931206. Well, I can't become a construct like you, because I don't have copolymer adaptability, but I hate the idea of being babysit and would rather get sent to the front lines. 931206 is the code of the copolymer test report that's been kept out of the eyes of the world. And every time I punch these numbers in, I tell myself that the only way I have is forward, so I need to give everything my best while I'm still alive. I mean, I'm still far from being perfect, and there have been moments in my life that I regret. But I've already come as far as I could have, and I think this is where I meet my end. But you're speaking too soon. There's still time to act. Hopelessly broken, however, your heart is telling you to forfeit even when there is still time. You don't have to feel regretful. I am just one of your enemies, and a normal human being. See, I don't even have what it takes to make it out of this place. When they left me here on my own to rot. But you're not alone when it comes to, I don't even have what it takes to make it out of this place. I was always like that before I came to this place. But I've come a long way since, and it's all because I embraced this egg. I revert back to my old self the moment I let it go of it. Which is why I never really wanted to let it go. Lamia, I understand how difficult it is to let wishes go. I have a lot of wishes myself, too. So I'm not going to ask you to let yours go. If anything, I'd ask you to be just a little greedier. Little greedier? This truth that you said you wanted to look for in the starry sky. Are you sure you'd be happy and satisfied if there's nothing else but this truth you spoke of? So please, do make people who want to live on part of your wishes. You've got all the time there is to cross paths with them. Hold their hands. Set sail for the starry sky that you've always wanted to go. Dare to want more, Lamia. You can barely hear your own voice now. Life's existence on Earth is a miracle in itself. Those who are important to you, I'm sure they brought you into this world because they wanted to pass this miracle on. Yes, I see why they had to send me away now. Right. So promise me this, will you? But why are we still talking about these when I've already handed the egg over? Because you seem regretful. Maybe these words won't make a difference. No, it's okay. I understand what you're saying, and I promise I'll be greedier. But I still think you're speaking too soon. But I'm sure they aren't coming. And there's only one way to stop Catilla now. Entrusting the Ascendant with your hope, you close your eyes in exhaustion and start humming a tune you know by heart. The stars gaze upon the sea. In its embrace lie the sails. The only reason I can be here and talk about these things with you is because people before my time shed their blood to keep me safe. And I'm sure the same can be said about you, too. But why does it have to end this way? But I thought you were super lucky and invincible, like the heroes from those stories. So why? Why does it have to be here of all places? I guess I'm probably just not the person you think I am. This isn't too shabby at all if we can minimize the casualties. I have one last wish. I'm listening. I don't want to die at the hands of the great ravens. So do me this one favor when I've become one with Catilla. You. Lamia's warm tears land in your blistering skin, causing pangs of pain. Got it. I'll give it my best try. Thank you, Lamia. I can't thank you enough. This. With the last ounce of your being, you jerk your name tag off and place it next to Lamia's tail alongside Shorthalt's. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave this on the shore for me. Okay. Thank you. Now, let me go, Lamia. Right. Farewell then. All your pent-up regrets, the blood you haven't shed, and the remaining 12.5 hours all sink into the red mud with these words. And gone are those hands that she'd never have a chance to hold again. Yeah, that entire scene really messed me up before. I was like, man, so we're really dead? That's what I thought. I was like, man, MC's dead? Holy shit, I didn't think a game would do it like that. But then I was like, oh, you know what? No, maybe that was just a clone. That was, yeah. They did it, yeah. It was pretty emotional. Parade of Corpses. April 1st, early morning. 1 full year has passed by since the Grey Raven Commandant went missing. Containing the Commandant's body, the whale-shaped coffin breaks free of the deep sea's confinement with the other 612 souls lost here. They are the forgotten, no longer anyone's concern. Filled with regret, confusion, and solitude are their deaths. An end they hoped to reach is still nowhere in sight. I remember a book about cloning. It never ends well. I don't think it ends well for any sort of story that involves cloning. But at this moment, if there were the only moment they were given to do so, please allow us to chant the songs of old, turn those tunes into lengthy whale songs, and step onto a path of no return amidst these sighs. We have come thus far down the path that those who came before us had paved with their blood. And now, I'm passing down to people coming after me this life that has only managed to make it this far because of all of you. Even though we have become part of the red tide, our laments unanswered. We will continue to search for our path even in death, marching in the parade as corpses. That goes hard. Oh boy. Whoops. Hold on. Oh. See, I remember doing this on my phone, but doing this on PC is going to be a bit different because of the controls. Okay. Ow. Oh, I got eaten. Ow. Okay. Nice. I got it. Oh. Damn it. Why is it always the stuff with the sea related to the sea or to the ocean that's always so good? Every time I can't escape it. I can never escape that shit. Not that I hate it though. Beautiful. So cool. Huh? Whoa. Ow. Oh, there he goes. Oh shit. Oh. Oh shit. Right. Hang on. Shit. Gotta match it. Gotta match them colors. I love colors. I love colors. They're so pretty. Shit. Wrong color. God damn it. C, X, Z, X, Z, C. Okay. There we go. I like purple. Me too. Purple's such a great color. It's the best color. No other color that can beat purple. Ew. I still got hurt. Deep Star Catilla. Ooh, that parry. That's so satisfying. It's such a cool boss. Mobile game. Ooh. This game having QTEs, it's so good. Oh, look at the oars following it. Parted that shit like the Red Sea. That's just one boss fight. There's another one. Oh, that was so cool. Such a cool fight. Almost to the end. The silent last word. Here. Now we get to really fight Catilla. And I know it's spelled like C-T-H-Y-A-L-L-A. So it's like Cathilla, but I say Catilla. apparently it's supposed to be pronounced like that. Like instead of Cthulhu, it's Cthulhu. There she is. Its mother. And her egg. She's disrupting my mind. I must do something about it. Right, so this one's gimmick is to go after the egg. Ignore her. I can't see. Yep, here we go. God. Focus on the egg. No. She's trying to stop me. Stop. I'm trying to get to your goddamn egg. There we go. There we go. The camera works so weird when you're trying to go after the egg. Because it just automatically tracks her. So I'm gonna have to change my camera mode for this. It's another phase, though. Oh boy. That would have been a grab. The camera isn't locking onto her. I can't lock onto her, so I have to control that. Ah, damn it. That needs to be like sorted out for PC when it comes to camera. Yeah, I'm dead. Dude, the camera is so weird. I think it was also an issue in, well, I don't remember. Cuz I'm pretty sure I played through this event when it first came out on mobile. Pretty sure. Actually no, I played it on PC. Never mind. So I'm not sure about mobile. I definitely had like lock-on camera issues in like on PC here. Okay, now it's no, it's still not locked on.
待って待って、話を聞いて。私の目の前から消えろ。
Oddly enough, I think it's only just during this part of it. Because when it first came out, there was like the boss challenge as well. And when I did that, the camera was fine on that. It seems like it's only just like the story. I don't know if it's the same for anyone else, but like I'm experiencing it a lot. Oh, come on. I'm stuck in the corner. I can't move. See, like it's so weird. Oh, there we go. Weird, yeah. The camera and the lock-on is wonky. Down with you, crazy woman. There's the egg. Lamia is so pretty, man. I love her eyes. What is she doing there, huh? Ugh. Starlit Wish. The eggs, Cinderellics. Consciousness is quickly dissipating. Before long, she will be completely shattered and turn into a bunch of chaotic data that, just like all the normal hetero creatures, is completely worthless. Holding the dimming chunk of red in her arms, the mermaid slowly makes her way toward the exit of her dream, where the single-winged girl stands. It seems that this illusion is the last obsession she harbors within the egg. This is a long time coming. The girl gazes at the illusory horizon as she whispers to the stars. I wanted to show Kana's father the true worth of Project Catella, and that it would have been a success anyway if he hadn't rushed things or decided to call it quits. I've done so much. Why did he choose to end his life down the new path? What do I even have to show for everything I've done? I've got all these points, but can't buy what I've always wanted to buy. Cinderella tiptoes and reaches her hand into the faraway sky. She tries to grasp something in there, but flying is not something she can do with her single wing. Had she listened to Kana and left the building back then, she probably would have ended up better off than she is now. And yet, no one has shown her the world out there before she made her choice. The only light she had in her world was Mother and Kana, so it's only natural for a decision to have been influenced by them. This, no matter how one cuts it, is a tragedy of utter boredom, coming to an end as abruptly as Project Catella, something that they called a pipe dream. When the disappointed audience has all left, only one spectator climbs onto the stage and desperately cries out on behalf of the deceased. Project Catella is worthwhile and didn't need to be abandoned. So let's at least leave their traces behind. Alright. It took a certain spectator a few decades to finally get here, but here they are, finally holding those hands that can't reach the sky. Please allow me. Are you sure this will do? Starting over is going to be even more difficult now without Catella. Yes, this is what Vonnegut wants. We need to prioritize preserving the Commandant's consciousness. They tried to break Catilla's shackles at the cost of their life, and it's a decision that deserves our respect. Well, gotta say, this is one hell of a loss we're suffering from. A lot of plans need to start from scratch, and I'm sure this also means that certain gentleman no longer has the luxury of doing his research behind the scenes like he always has, no? Drill. He said the hetero zone is about to expand, although he didn't say why he thought that. But what can we do without Catilla? We can't stop the expansion, and we can't convert them into our army anymore. He asked me to come down here to lend y'all a hand the moment I woke up, so I know nothing about the specific of these. We should head back before Babylonia's people get here. We need to hash the child as soon as we can since we don't have Catilla around. The boy soothes the egg in his arms gently. Alright. By the way, I still owe you a proper greeting here, don't I? Nice to meet you, Lithos. Pleasure is all mine, Lilith. The downpour is reminiscent of one's vomit, as much as it is of the tears that the dead didn't have time to shed. After the two descendants have left, Lamia waits in the rain for a long time before Babylonia's army hurries to the place they once stood. Everything happened as the Commandant had anticipated. She would have been taken away by the Ascendants who came ready to do their job if the Commandant failed to merge with Catilla's consciousness. For the last time, the mermaid looks at the egg in her arms, hugs her tightly, then dives into the sea and swims toward the crowd. High concentration of punishing detected. We have an incoming Ascendant. An Ascendant is coming this way. We need a elite squad here now. An Ascendant, they said, which makes sense. Why would they address her as Lamia anyway? To them, an Ascendant is all that Lamia is. It's okay. She's mentally prepared for this. Lamia raises her head, the same way she did in the cold rain on the day she set sail. With all the laser sights trained at her in hostility, leaving her covered in countless red dots, everyone is on high alert waiting for her next move. As the torrential downpour slaps against the water, she can feel the noise sounding through her heart. They all stand silently as they wait for elite squad to arrive. None of them dares to lay a finger on this Ascendant that suddenly showed up out of nowhere. So, she takes the initiative and speaks first. I just wanted to give these back to you guys. She takes out 2 name tags and places them on the shore at their feet. Did you kill them? No, I didn't. These name tags belong to Shorthalt and the Grey Raven Commandant. Wait, did you really just say what I think you said? I don't know about Shorthalt, but the Grey Ravens are all alive and well. Are you sure? My name tag? Through a narrow gap comes a human in perfect condition, observing Lamia quietly. Yes. They seem like a star, one that seems like one she's seen before, yet too far beyond her reach. She looks at this person, who stands in front of her now with every last inch of their skin intact and not a single droplet of blood dripping. At this moment, she hopes the human could stay this way forever. Why do you have this? Oblivious to what's going through Lamia's mind, the human picks up the name tags and begins scrutinizing them. Lamia isn't sure how to explain herself so people won't think she's lying. Then it hits Lamia that she's holding the ultimate trump card. 931206. Does that ring a bell? Lamia senses a subtle change in the human's face. You told me about this. Well, another you, that is. They told me that they had been abandoned before they died right before me. What? Surrounded by people with weapons who are closing in on her, Lamia finds herself trembling like a plucked string. Please, give me a few moments to tell you everything. Okay. With it, the tense crowd takes half a step back, giving Lamia enough room to work up her courage to recount her journey. She speaks of how she encountered wounded lost souls in the Cradle slaughterhouse, how they planned to escape together, only to witness them sacrificing themselves one by one. How she lived through their regrets, their memories, and their final words, and how she accepted the last wish coming from the Grey Raven Commandant. We figured out a way to reach the world outside. We established a connection with Babylonia but never got a response. The human before Lamia falls silent without raising any question. You know what I am talking about, don't you? Yes. Celica came to check on me as soon as she got my call. And they took our call as some sort of prank, because they already had you here? Yes. Can I ask you a question? She probably already knows the answer to the question. Still, she wants to bring this up one last time before she gives everything away. Let's say you found yourself in a situation where you could either save yourself or you waited for just a few dozen hours longer, or sacrifice yourself to save someone else. Would you still, for a future that's not your own, sacrifice your own chance at life? I would. Why? Lamia looks up as she questions the human, knowing that the human is no longer the person she knows them to be. You do that at the cost of your life. But what do you stand to gain from it? What do we stand to gain from it? Please tell me. I can't give you a reason that's universal and impressive. To me, it's not about what I stand to gain from it. I do it because that's what I prefer to do. Everyone sees different things in sparks. And those things vary depending on what people see and know. For me, this spark is the people in my life who are still alive. So I want them to live longer than happier than myself. And you, Lamia? The human says her name softly. What is it that you came here for, knowing that you might not be able to leave? I came to. The lone mermaid holds up the dead egg in her arms, making herself completely vulnerable. Lamia answers firmly. She looks these people in the eye, knowing full well that she will have to part ways with mankind the moment she hands over the egg. Are the people here part of this wish that you're talking about? She's no stranger to what hetero creatures are capable of, and the last thing she wants is to see the tragedy repeat itself. Okay. A few seconds later, Lamia sees an isolation case passed into the Commandant's hands. Seeing the Commandant come close this way with the isolation case and the rest of them exchange knowing looks, she knows that they're ready to capture her. And that's when it hits her that, even after everything she has done, the humans still don't see her as an equal. Open the isolation case and bring it up to Lamia. She can hear the deafening warning bell coming from inside of herself. And as soon as she puts the egg in the case. Thank you, Lamia. She's gone! Hurry up and look for her! Lamia vanishes, sinking into the deep sea. The story comes to an end as the villain, for a tomorrow that in all likelihood will never come, hands over power that has the potential to destroy the world. All her wishes, like bubbles of greed, are handed over to the people on the shore. The heroes must be happy about this, right? But why is Lamia, who's the villain in the story, feeling happy too? Unable to find an answer, the mermaid drifts with the currents, only surfacing at a safe distance when the voices on the shore have faded with the storm. The sky, before she knows it, has cleared up. The bright starry sky and the lonely moon gaze at the sea surface, twinkling along with the distant lights. She steadies her floating body on the sea, looking at the shore. The crowd looking for her slowly moves away, among whom are the gray ravens and their commandant. These people sparkle in the lights, redolent of distant stars shining in her eyes. For a moment, she thought she saw that human stopping in their tracks and turning her way. For a moment, she thought she heard someone saying something to her. Would it still be a simple thank you? How wonderful would it be to hear another thank you and see another friendly look in those eyes? Is this asking for too much? But asking for more than they deserve is what villains usually do, no? But out here, she hears nothing but the whispers of the wind and the waves. The mermaid remains watchful for a long time, until all the lights vanish into the distance. She lifts her head, seeking a more eternal light from the star-filled sky. So far away. Be it their silhouettes or the stars in the sky. The stars. She once had the chance to touch the stars, but willingly let it go. Because I remember those words. Keep pursuing the starry sky and never stop moving forward. And I'll always remember them. She remembers what the human commandant said, and this is how she has been living up to those words. Now, instead of plowing ahead alone with the egg, she is keeping around those who can move forward. I have no regrets. Lamia has asked herself again and again, and her answer never changed. It's just, she might have no regrets, but that doesn't mean she doesn't still long for humans and the starry sky, or that she doesn't feel sad and lonely knowing that she's getting exiled to the deep sea. And I'm not giving up. Someday, she will step into that distant starry sky, without leaving anyone behind, that is. But how much longer is that going to take? It's going to take a long, long time. The mermaid has an infinite amount of time. Dejected, she looks down at her fish tail that the ocean is embracing. The sea holds the reflections of the star, in the same way her eyes once held the silhouettes of the people she saw. The stars gaze upon the sea. In its embrace lie the sails. And now, alone, she starts singing the song she's just learned, one that doesn't belong to her, to the reflections of the stars that are within her reach. She knows that this is just herself, an outcast, trying to make her feel better. Being a villain driven into exile, she can only pretend that she once belonged to that kingdom where only heroes lived. Drip. When her tears drip into the ocean, the ripples form an eye that drinks in all the stars she yearns for. With her singing and tears, she sends the love letter that can never reach the stars to their reflections. Oh, I love her. 931206. Numbers or letters, a trap or coincidence. Several months later, a woman who seems out of place enters the dimly lit temporary base. It's been a while. Please pardon my uninvited presence, but I came because I noticed that you had obtained the key. Ooh, yes, she's about to hatch. His gaze falls upon the small tree of life. The egg, sitting in the crimson, beats like a heart. So the key. Would it be safe to see it as that commandant's daughter? I'd say the key is more like the actual commandant. The introduction didn't go well. The memories and consciousness aren't entirely complete. I saw several shards that belonged to others. It seems like this return ticket that you found isn't all that perfect. The woman pauses for a moment, deep in thought. What do you plan to do about the heterozone? I'm going to pay Luna a visit. What's going to happen after you leave? I'll leave it all to Lilith, since she's always wanted to be an agent. Not to Lithos? I need to set him free. I owe him that. She smiles, returning her gaze to the egg. I'm a bit curious. Why did you choose this commandant when anyone with a stable mind can be the core of the key? I need someone who understands the cost of power. The key isn't just a tool. She possesses her own consciousness. Having to go down the same path again and again is torturing, and few have what it takes to stand that. Most people use this power to satisfy their own desires once they realize what they are capable of. And we both know what can happen when that happens. I wish the best of luck to you and your new key with passing through the door. Don't worry though. We're not interested in seeing Earth's civilizations destroyed, and your growth would only make it more likely for the rules to be broken. As far as I am concerned, you only have the time to take care of those little wishes when you're done with this here. If you're talking about the war between the Punishing and humans, all I need to do is find and train people who are capable of fighting the virus. It doesn't matter what their affiliation is. Although I'm more inclined to believe in ascendance and the filtering. You're far less interesting than when you were still alive, Professor. So much so that I barely recognize you now. You might be able to get out of the closed loop of time now, but you're no longer the same person that you were. The figure in the dark says nothing in response. Regardless of the outcome, this path is exactly the one I set out to take. And how's that for being interesting to you? With it, the two fall silent, looking at the egg in silence. She can no longer find herself. She sweeps her cloak aside and holds the egg in her arms. Let's give her a new name. A new name is going to help her hatch sooner. How does Billy Pilgrim sound? Well, I guess this name suits you better now, doesn't it? That's a terrible joke, madam. The agent with the same poker face rejects the suggestion with a joking tone. Chaos. Let's stick with that for the time being until she names herself. The merciful one nods, placing the soon-to-hatch egg back onto the miniature tree of life. The two wait in silence until the egg's shell cracks with her restless movements. As the blood on its body slowly disappears, the hetero creature, roughly about the same size as a doll, sits quietly among the chains with its eyes closed. She laughs, as if coming to a sudden realization. So this is your choice, huh? In her whisper, the pale child quietly opens her eyes. That's scary. In the afternoon on the same day, Babylonia. Returning Shorthalt's name tag, they concluded all summaries and reports of this operation. Finally getting a break from all the tedious work, the Grey Raven Commandant is now back in Grey Raven's Situation Room. One of the clones of the Grey Raven Commandant died in the accident. This is how they concluded the incident. Commander Nicola believes this to be one of Ascendant's schemes. They won't hesitate to leave your clones to rot as long as they have you back at Babylonia, and you know that they do this on purpose. Clones have been around for some years now. When you first went missing, your disappearance was meant for your memories to be synchronized with the clones, except the success was low, and they only ended up with one exceptional case with your memories. I still remember what happened during those few days. April 16th, day 16 since you went missing. A human awakened naked in an old, filthy underground laboratory. I was bound to an operating table at that time. You would have been completely naked had it not been for the old blanket covering your lower body. I think that was supposed to be the narrator saying that. Funny. Breaking free of your restraints and kicking down the door barefoot, you start looking for help in the deserted building. Not long into looking for help in the makeshift shoes you came up with using discarded cardboard and strips of cloth, you ran into a construct. The construct offered you help, but soon showed his true colors when he led you into yet another trap. You thought you'd made it out of hell, only to be led straight back to Lithos. The patrolling defectors, corrupted strolling down the alleys, fanatics of Scarlet Revelation, their crazy minions. And it didn't help that the place was as complicated as an inescapable maze. It took me 4 good days to finally make it out of the place. I was seriously thinking about writing my own adventure storybook after that. Then Lucia told you that the Grey Ravens had saved a clone of you around Fort Winter in the early hours of April 16th. The clone had no memories whatsoever and died in the emergency room soon after waking up. And that's when we lost yet another source of information. On April 20th, the battered human got their second chance to escape. They knocked the guard guarding the refugees out cold and took the liberty to borrow the guard's jacket. Having learned your lesson the hard way and decided not to never trust anyone again on the way, you headed straight up the bumpy mountain path. It didn't take long for your pursuers to catch up to you, except you were well prepared this time around. With the traps and boulders that you set up beforehand behind the rocks up the mountain, you took out a construct that came looking for you with a terminal. You were about to send out a distress signal when you realized that your pursuers' terminals were all on the lookout for just that. Stricken by despair and about to give up all hope, you see him. What are you doing here wearing someone else's jacket? That was the first time you saw a familiar face in days, plunging you into yet another storm with the Forsaken. But when everything was taken care of, the Grey Ravens finally found their commandant, who retained every last bit of memories. Aside from a few minor physical injuries here and there, and a gap in memory from April 1st to April 16th, the commandant was otherwise perfectly normal. You went through proper examinations and a healing program upon returning to Babylonia. Through the proper care they received, you made a swift recovery to the point where you were able to enjoy card games by the bed in your hospital room with Vanessa and Simon. Vanessa always looks bitter when recounting this thrilling escape adventure. I'd only describe your luck as impossible. See, people are usually goners if they ever go missing for as long as you did. Impossible luck, huh? The only sacrifice in the incident was an overlooked clone. The real protagonist has long since returned to their own story. Life is full of unexpected turns, but you know that you would have made the same decision had you been given another chance, so long as you live with those memories. But is that all there is to it? The results are in. No signs of accelerated growth on account of medication. Professor Hippocrates paid you a visit the day you were discharged from the hospital. That means you're the real deal. Is this result reliable? All the data came directly from the lab, so there is no way it could be wrong. Or are you so on edge that you suspect there's a traitor even among the Star of Life? She tosses over a case file. Here, your test report is here, on paper. Hold on to it yourself. No one can do anything with this copy. If you feel something's off, list out the issues and we'll redo the tests. Thank you. After leaving the Star of Life, you dove right into the next mission, helping Purifying Force eliminate traitors and formulate prevention and resettlement measures. This has lasted for nearly a year. That which binds someone to a certain place is never any sort of chains or cruel punishments, but sweet home, as Bianca always says. Rumor has it that recall is a big fat lie, and that Babylonia has been deceiving people for years. Some who claim to have made it work were later found suspicious. They might have defected for a variety of reasons, but this, I think, is the biggest one. We can't just leave an execution chamber behind and try to stop people from running away by putting them to death, because people who know they're going to be tortured to death can do just about anything. The reform plan she formulated is well underway, and it needs to be maintained going forward. But most investigations into those who had gone missing yielded positive results, save for Beth. The old man who was seen by the river before going missing was never seen again from April 1st until autumn. After much deliberation, you decided to give Nolan, who for some reason showed up at the river on April 1st and was a result put under surveillance, the benefit of the doubt, and showed him a video of the old man. After a moment of silence, he slowly revealed the identity of this old man. He worked as an executive for an underground arms deal back in the Golden Age, and was also one of those who financially supported the orphanage. When his boss died during the Great Evacuation, he took over part of his boss's business. These are all things Rachel, my teacher, told me. Taking advantage of his connections with Actilec Commercial Alliance, Corono, and Babylonia, Beth took weapons from them that they didn't need and sold them to people who needed weapons to fend for themselves during the apocalypse. Remember how they said the blueprint of the Rev Blade was an old one that Babylonia had discarded 10 years earlier when the blueprint was sent to them? I got this blueprint from that certain teacher, who had purchased it from Beth herself. The blueprint then went into circulation, and somehow found its way back to Babylonia. And only a handful of people in this world know where he went when he's so well known. He rarely meets people in person because they're his regulars. I only saw him because of Fantine. Do you remember Fantine? I do. Liv brought her up before. Fantine's husband and I are both merchants. He told that Fantine had gone missing and asked for my help looking for her when we crossed paths with each other one day at a base. So, with the clues Fantine had left along her journey, we found Beth's basement. The smell of rotting flesh and excrement, scratches from fingernails on the walls, broken finger bones on the ventilation ducts, and photos of the children. No one furrowed as he recalled the living hell he had seen in there. Back then, we were so focused on trying to save Fantine that we let Beth slip right through our fingers. What happened to you wouldn't have happened had we gotten rid of him then. Learning what had happened, the young man, usually calm and gentle, became unusually upset. And after that, Beth. Yeah, this is the real no one. The other one from before was the clone. The sound of the bell reminding you of the strategy meeting pulls you right back from memory lane. Looking up, you find yourself once again back in the empty lounge. Celica did send you a message in a rush to check on you before the gigantic whale hopped out of the sea. Back then, everyone thought it was a trick that the Ascendants were trying to pull. Could things have taken a different course? Had you taken the message seriously? But had you saved your other self, how were you supposed to deal with everything that ensued? You pull the drawer open and see the case file sitting quietly at the very bottom. When you first got it and went through the first few pages of the report, you saw that they were full of medical terms and data. Seeing as you could barely get any useful information from it, you put it back where it was. Reopen the case file. It's been a year since, and you now lay the report in front of you across the table. The pages are still filled with the same medical terms, and, going through them page by page, you are still as clueless as ever. Right when you're about to put the report back into the case file, you catch a handwritten serial number on the very last page, making you curious instantly. Illegible, English hard. Illegible to the point of being undecipherable, the letters and numbers seem to be saying that the parade of the dead is still ongoing. Damn. And there we go. Cradle parade done. The second half of it done. Ooh, so good. What a good chapter. Reading through this made me love Lamia even more. She's too precious. Alright, so then tomorrow I'll be reading through Aeon Reforged. Yeah, that was the number written at the top. His little passcode, his passcode. But yeah, tomorrow will be Aeon Reforged. My first time reading through it. And it's going to be just as lengthy as Lamia's chapter, I think. Yeah, at least it looks like it will be. So if it is going to be as lengthy, then there's a good chance there's going to be two-part stream for this one as well. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I love the music for this one too. Do 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 do. But yeah, again, this will be for tomorrow.
ここに使い心地のいい家具を置きなさい。体を休めるのにとても良いので。
Just let her say her thing. Yeah, the artwork in Cradle Parade has been really good. Too. It really does Lamia justice. Because it's so pretty. Let's take a look. Yeah, all this artwork. Gorgeous stuff. This one's my favorite one. I like this one a lot. It's so pretty. Yeah. Alright then. That's it then for tonight. So, that being said, that'll be it for me for tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for chatting with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care, stay safe, drink plenty of water, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll be reading through Aeon Reforged tomorrow. First time reading. I'm excited. Again, thank you for watching. And again, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Alrighty, see you tomorrow for Aeon Reforged. Thanks for the stream, Cap. See you again soon. Thank you for coming by, Tinkan. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. And if you don't end up watching tomorrow, like that's one thing that's fine. But if you don't, and you're usually here like once a week and shit. So considering that in a few days it's gonna be Christmas, I'll wish you a Merry Christmas, an early Merry Christmas, Tinkan. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and have a early Merry Christmas to you, Tinkan. Alrighty. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Cap. Thank you. Alrighty. See you tomorrow then. Thank you. Bye-bye.